Hello and welcome once again to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. I'm Ian Horner, and joining me as always, well, at least when it's time to deal with models and whatnot.
It's me, Cameron.
Yeah. And we're dealing with models and whatnot today. And by whatnot, we're going to be cracking into some Gunpla.
Yeah.
Which is something I've always loved looking at and have only attempted to do once before.
Okay.
Is evidenced on our set by the Gundam GP03 there behind the Magic the Gathering conspiracy box.
Hang on 1 second.
Goodbye.
Leave it where it stands. We've got a secondary shot.
Oh, we can bring him onto the tape. Give it for the day. Yes, there we go.
And his gun pod.
Beam rifle. If we have to be...
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Both these models have been generously donated by our kind viewers like you. And if you'd like to help us out further here, you can check us out on patreon.com/loadingreadyrun to subscribe there, or just here at twitch.tv. We appreciate all your support, and we'll be going through new subscribers and resubs at the end of the show, as is tradition.
Goodbye.
Oops. Well. Yeah, that's one of the problems with Gunpla is, well, not really a problem, it's a feature, I guess.
Yeah, sure, we'll call it that.
The snap-together construction of these things leads themselves to easy construction, but also easy...
Deconstruction.
I won't say breakage, but as it just went back as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's crack into these. We've got ourselves here today the RX-178 Gundam Mark II in Titan's livery, and the Gundam Dendrobian GP03 model.
All right. Which shows are these from?
Well, these are from Gundam Zeta. That was the first Gundam to show up in that series when three of them were stolen from one of the sides, one of which became the Hakushiki, one of which became the Gundam Zeta, and the third of which just stayed a Gundam Mark II for the rest of the thing. And this was from Gundam 0083 and is the same model as that guy, but in super deformed form.
Neat.
Which one would you like to take a stab at?
I'm actually really curious about this one, because War in the Pocket is one that I remember fondly, but I'm not familiar at all with Zeta.
Okay, well, it's one of my favorites, actually.
Okay.
As a series, and
Well,
it's... Yeah. This is also my favorite model, and so...
Okay, fair
I'll
enough.
put that together. So, yeah, let's
have a boo.
Yeah, so first thing we're going to do with these, I mean, you've had a bit more experience building models in general than I have. So we're going to have to take these things off the sprues. Is that correct?
Well, you take them off. The first thing you want to do is read the instructions.
Oh, no.
So you know which order to do things in,
forbid.
because like a lot of these pieces are small, they can get lost. You don't want to take things off the sprue until you're ready to use them.
Ooh.
Goodbye. So
The corners there.
let's see, we've got Gunpla doesn't require painting typically,
No, that's the nice thing. It doesn't require painting.
but it definitely benefits from it.
Yeah, it has the affordance for painting.
I haven't made one of these kits in years. So here we are with
And
the
this is the master grade, I believe.
yeah.
Of the, oh no, just the high grade. Good.
Okay.
Which is fine. There are multiple grades of Gundam models available, all the way up from just existing through to...
So there's about 100 pieces in this
Good
kit,
God.
which isn't bad.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of like gaskets and things in order to make sure the fits are solid. And yeah, let's see. We've got the beam rifle and then the
hyper bazooka.
yeah, the hyper bazooka. God, I haven't. I'm such a Gundam noob, to be honest.
That's... We all have to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, it wants us to start with the chest and then build up. And we do the head and yeah, okay.
All right, and so all these parts...
All these sub-assemblies, basically.
All these parts are marked with just literal, actual locations on the sprue.
Yeah, so these are all frame A, right?
And then piece
Yeah,
A through K.
so we want to look for frame A to start with.
Let's not get these mixed up here, because as is tradition, I'll be working alongside you. on this guy. And mixing pieces is a very good way to get to a solution you're not exactly happy with.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, we match things up. We know what we're looking for. And that means that we won't get things mixed up or lost or broken, hopefully. So I'm going to take my side cutters and remove the pieces that I need for step one.
Nice side cutters. I've got my own little kit here. Mine are a little smaller though, which is, you can't really judge a person based on the size of their side cutters.
Truth.
Mine wants me to go with the head first, which is a odd place to start. All right, let's actually get these out of here.
Typically what you'd want to do first is wash these in like just warm soap and water.
Right.
Because the sprues, in order to come cleanly out of the molds, are treated with a mold release agent,
Right,
which can sometimes interfere with paint.
Everything's coated in that release. So just soap and water would be fine for that?
Yeah, just soap and water would be fine,
Okay.
but I think we can get away without it for this one.
For not painting today.
Yeah,
The most we might end up doing is doing some panel lines, I think,
yeah.
which is always fun. Why does it keep trying to open Trello and not Twitch?
So I just kind of loosely remove the pieces from the sprue, giving it a little leeway. And then with my X-Acto knife, I trim off any remains.
Do you need a fresh blade?
Oh,
I have a lot that I ended up taking from my last workplace.
I think we're still good for a little while.
Okay.
This one isn't taking too much effort to push. As always, you want a really sharp razor because that means you need to put very little effort into doing it.
Now, do you want
And you
to-
should never, ever do what I'm doing here unless you've been doing this for 30 years like I have and have basically like an invincible callus on your thumb.
So the shaving into it is not a good idea.
No, that's how you get...
Plastic embedded in your thumb.
No, that's how you get... I don't know if you can still see the scar, but I had a scar on my finger here.
Aim to beach.
Aim to beach?
Like a beach now.
Right
Your
there.
thumb.
Nope, there.
Up. There we go.
Hard to see. Oh, geez, you can kind of get it.
Yeah, I almost cut the pad of my finger off.
Wow. I think that's larger than we were looking for, which is the problem there. You also mentioned that we could sand down the bits of sprue gunk.
Well, you do that once you have trimmed off the large parts because, like, you want to work large to small, and sanding is always only ever a finishing piece. All right, so we've got front and back, and then I've noticed that I've already missed one small subassembly from sprue C, which is the more or less the groin mount, I guess. Are you sprue C? B, C. Yeah, there we are.
Question from the chat here, Cameron. What primer do you recommend for painting minis, specifically Reaper's Bones series, if that makes a difference?
Are those pewter? Plastic?
I think those are the plastic Kickstarter ones, are they not?
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up. Typically, in spite of myself, Games Workshop makes very good primers. You want a spray primer, but if you go into your local hobby shop, they should have a selection for you. I've had decent experiences with Tamiya primers recently. It's what I've been using on Silver Tower. Although, actually, it's been a bit uneven as of late. I don't know whether it was the weather or whether I hadn't shaken them enough, but it went on a bit thick last time.
I was going to say, you mentioned that they were having some real thickness issues.
Yeah. But even then, like, one spray primer is really fairly similar to another as long as you're using actual model primer and not something like, automotive primer, house primer. Don't hit them up with Tremclad. But yeah, it really comes down to personal preference. Unfortunately, it's a personal preference that's developed like $10 can at a time.
Oh god, yeah. So you've really got to try them out,
Yeah, the problem is you don't really get a chance to try them out.
and I guess try them out by buying a $10 can.
Yeah.
And I guess climate, as you're saying, kind of makes a difference. And weather.
Yeah, wait for a warm, sunny day. Never prime when it's below freezing out, obviously.
But do prime outdoors,
Yeah, always prime outdoors. In a very well ventilated area.
unless you somehow have access to a fume hood in your home. Should really look at getting one of those installed here. All right, so I've got both sides of my head. I've got piece 1. Need 15. This is my first time putting together something like this with, I guess, slightly more knowledge about what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm hoping for a little bit better results.
Yeah, I have not put one of these together since I was very young.
Well, I understand that the technology may have gotten a bit better in terms of what can be pushed out via plastic these days.
If you even look at even budget model makers like Airfix and Revell have put out very impressive quality model kits in the last several years for not much money. The overall quality has been excellent. I mean, it's not as fine as what some of the Japanese manufacturers are doing, but they're totally respectable kits for not much money.
It's a good way to get started. That certainly sounds like a much better.
Yeah.
You get yourself into. I mean, yeah, but like anything, you can put any amount of effort into this and see see the results.
Yeah, so we're just loose test fitting. Things line up nicely.
I love how cleverly color coding is, where you can print on the same form red and white or red,
Yeah.
black, and yellow.
Yeah, yeah, this actually really impresses me.
I think that's part of the advances in technology. Is being able to spray, or not spray, but squeeze the molten plastic of different types into the same mold,
Yeah,
presumably at the same time.
so I'm just going to use a little cement here to make sure this comes apart. Not strictly necessary, I'm assuming, with these snap together models, which are pressure fit, but certainly helpful. You can just touch on kits like this, and the capillary action will draw it down into the piece.
That's what I was reading about. So you don't need much, and that's a good start of a way to actually start getting rid of lines.
Yeah, yeah. Well, plastic cement works by melting the plastic, and then as it evaporates, it will. Let's see, what
So
is
you're
this?
literally welding
Acetone?
them.
Yeah, you're welding it. Acetates and methyl ethyl ketone. So yeah, it's just a mixture of, petrochemicals,
It
basically.
smells like then.
Petroleum distillates. But it breaks up doesn't break up the polymer chains, but I assume it loosens them up to the point where they reform,
Okay.
hopefully in a usefully welded way.
So are you putting together two pieces there, or are you?
Yep.
Okay, you are welding two pieces.
Now again, when you're dealing with gunpla, it's not strictly necessary to do this, but hey, do yourself. All right, I think I found the piece that I need. This is actually one of those joint pieces, and it feels like it's made of a very different plastic than the rest of it. It's much softer, which I think is what you want for a joint.
I remember hearing stories from when I was a kid about the local hobby shop getting in its first Star Wars model kits. Oh, no. And, they were like, oh, well, these are a big thing. Everyone loves these. We don't really know how to build them, though, right? And, we know how to build models. We build tanks, we build planes, but...
The theory should be the same.
Yeah, and, it was largely, but they wound up weathering them like you would weather a tank. So
Right.
they looked, super beat up and gnarly and, used, and it suited the aesthetic quite well.
That's a lot like I think what happened later on with the Gundam models in Japan was they started releasing series that were based on this one particular series of novels and short stories of Xeon groups, the antagonists.
Right.
But the Xeon groups who were just foot soldiers and people working in sort of conventional
A
style
friend of mine
vehicles.
had a wall scroll for what was it? It was one of the Xeon mechs standing over like a smoking Gundam
Oh yeah. Was
in
it
like a jungle.
probably one of the Zaku's then? Oh
Yeah, it was Zaku's. Yeah, it was just like the name of the series was like this Zaku group.
Oh yeah. What was it? The Igloo series?
No,
Okay.
I'm terrible at this.
That's okay.
It's like, oh yeah, it's the thing with the name. This? No. This? No. This? No.
Hey, Ian, would you mind reiterating which models you're building?
We are building today the super deformed GP03 Gundam RX-78 GP03 Dendrobium and the RX-178 Gundam Mark II from Gundam 0083 Stardust Memories and Gundam Zeta, respectively.
God, Stardust memory is not worn in the pocket. What am I?
Sit up. Let's see if I can.
What's wrong with me? What's wrong, brain?
No, you're just remembering the better one.
There we go.
Right.
That's the one that happens at Christmas. Everyone cries. All right.
And it's always helpful to read several steps ahead. Just so you know the way things should be oriented so that they meet up with things, especially in pieces like this with a lot of moving parts.
Do they ever do a thing where you'll snap something together for the time being, and then it'll be like, okay, now I'm going to need you to slightly unsnap that and wiggle this shit through?
They shouldn't.
Not in instructions, but I was actually doing some reading before the show, and one of the suggestions was to actually take these connection points, where it would snap together, and just shave down the edge of them. Just to make them easier
Easier to
take
pull apart?
Exactly. So that when you're test fitting it, you can put it together, take it apart, or when you want to prime it or what have you.
Yeah.
But then you can take it apart and then properly do the gluing later.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that is a bit above my pay grade for this sort of...
So ideally, you don't necessarily run a bead of cement down the seam. What you can do is you put it on each side. And then when you put it together, then it'll grip.
You just let it suck in.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Back of the head. The temptation to just go at it and just jam the thing together as fast as possible is...
Strong.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's nice to try and fight that, actually, that urge.
It's meditative.
Yeah.
You know, sit down, work at it for a few hours, put it down, walk away, come back later.
Cry a bit. How badly you've done everything.
Yeah, exactly. I've ruined it, and you come back and you're like, oh, you know what? This works. I can work with this.
Right. Oh yes. So while you've got your sanding paper out there, I bought you some presents.
Oh, the emery boards.
Yeah. In fact,
Great.
they're made by Henkel,
Oh,
and they come in different grits. This one is 100 and 180 respectively on each side, and this one is 280 and 320.
okay. Oh. Let's. Yeah, the emery boards are actually quite useful for model kits because they come in relatively small sizes. They're rigid, flat, and and won't wind up warping a piece or working it down too much.
I saw that one of the things you can do is make your own sort of memory board type thing with a popsicle stick and then glue and sandpaper. But these just seem to be so inexpensive that why not?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, they're made by Henkel.
Maker of fine knives.
Probably get a bit right here. There we go.
Step 1 complete.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
To resolve and it didn't. Okay.
You could just leave it on auto.
Yeah, that really makes a difference. I'm surprised. Well, I don't know why I'm surprised, but
So yeah, I mean, what's the usual with one of these kits? Are they just usually kind of assembled as is?
that's the nice thing. You can go all the way from just jamming it together as a kid, bending them out if you so desire, and get them out as fast as possible so you can play with them with your buddy on the schoolyard. Or you can go whole hog and remove every seam, paint everything, weather it, put it in special custom parts. Some people even get down to the point where they start painting the interior of the cockpits. And those ones
Are
look
there
very nice.
Are there aftermarket kits available for it? Like with model kits, you can buy resin parts for the things that are like not terribly well resolved in plastic. Things like landing gear, cockpits, or photo etch parts, brass photo etch.
I'm not entirely certain about the brass photo etching type, anything in brass, but I know that there is at the very least a thriving market of decal creation. But there's a huge customization and garage kit scene for Gunpla in terms of both official and fan created things. I mean, look at how popular Gundam is here. It's not crazy popular, but you say the words and people generally have an idea what it is.
Yeah.
And it's pretty huge in Japan because otaku culture, right? Anything that can be obsessed over will be obsessed over. And so, yeah, you get everything under the sun that you could possibly think of from a Gundam series. It's been done. Someone's probably made a variant of it with a Zaku head.
Yeah, I'd imagine like there's probably decal sheets with just like every unit that appeared in this one squadron.
Oh yeah, that's one of those things that's fairly easy to find. That those will be sold off the rack in your general local toy store, just as a customization option.
So I've also got some of my own sandpaper here. This is just 400 grit. Nothing super fine, but definitely smooths things out.
Which is nice. If you can avoid strain marks too, that's even better. Which I am going to do.
Any Gunpla enthusiasts in the audience?
Let's have a look here. It's a lot of people mentioning that they're looking for specific things. Who was it that was looking for? Someone was looking for a Pat Labor style. Duwali was referencing the FA-010S Full Armor Double Zeta, the staple everything we have to a Gundam. Let's see here. I noticed someone had a question for you. Oh yes, no, it was FL Torian looking for the HAL X10 from Pat Labor. Which I had to look at the link they posted.
Yeah, I'm just not that familiar with Pat Labor.
Again, yeah, I'm kind of a fake Pat Labor fan. It's on my list of things to finish watching. I was young and I didn't understand what good shows were back in the Anime Club days.
My parents, back when I was a little kid, were never quite that sure whether I should be allowed to watch Robotech or not. I wasn't allowed to watch G.I. Joe, but Transformers was okay. That was when I was very small. And they were like, I don't know about this one.
Robotech was one of the first shows I ended up just watching on my own. It came on at 7 a.m. on weekdays. And so pestering my parents to go, can I watch TV at 7 in the morning on a weekday? Kind of said to them, okay, no, you're old enough now to make that decision yourself. Great. So because of the way syndication worked, I got to watch those 15 episodes that Edmonton got over and over.
I just eventually had to get the novels from the library.
I think that's what started me reading, actually, on a large scale.
The Jack McKinney.
Yes.
Wasn't until much later that I found out that there actually is no person named Jack McKinney.
The concept of pen names?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was me too, because I wanted to find out, well, I loved his Robotech work. I wonder what else this Jack McKinney guy's done.
Turns out, nothing.
Yeah. However, this was a fun one for me. Do you remember the Scholastic set of, the Scholastic book order system that came around in the elementary school?
Oh, yeah.
So you'd get there would be any number of books. There'd be, of course, the huge horde of the Run on Garfield books. But for a short time, they were offering some Nintendo novels.
I don't remember that.
Oh, they had 3 of them, I think. One was a Mario novel. One of them was Castlevania.
Okay.
And the third one that I can remember was Blaster Master.
I can safely say I missed all of those.
Okay.
They also had Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, they also had Ninja Gaiden, says Beach. Yeah. The reason I bring this up is because the Blaster Master one was one of my favorite childhood books.
Really?
But it was written by a man named FX9.
Wow.
Yeah, great name.
Yeah.
Again, turns out to be a pen name. But what I didn't realize at the time, because I couldn't have, was that it was written by a person who came to be one of my internet marketing heroes, Seth Godin.
I don't recognize that name.
He's big in the internet marketing. He was especially in the earlier days of the internet when people didn't know how to
internet.
Yeah, exactly. How do I attract actual real internet people? And he kind of said be authentic, listen to your customers, and actually use analytics properly. But surprise, surprise, he went from writing these weird, almost cover versions of these things, because at least in terms of the Blaster Master, I think they read the first paragraph from the manual and said, great, that's a great idea for a story. We'll move from there. It's now about a guy trying to find his frog.
I remember hearing a story tangentially related to that, but it was Phil Folio was given an assignment to illustrate a bunch of magic cards from the set Stronghold. And nobody told him what the cards were, what was going on in the story at the time, so he had no idea what to do with it. But he looked at the set symbol, and it was a gate, and he looked at the name, and he's like, okay, so I know there's a stronghold involved. Are they trying to break in or break out?
Oh boy.
If they were trying to break out, it would probably not be called Stronghold. It would be called something else.
Yeah.
So they're trying to break in. What are they trying to do? Rescue someone or retrieve something? Probably retrieve something.
Guess you don't.
And
Yeah.
he domed it out. Like he deduced the story of that expansion
Wow.
set by like,
Just by thinking logically about what the set could mean.
yeah. And then he was like, okay, I think I know what I should be doing for this. And they were like, wow.
That's serious.
Yeah, deep nerdery, right?
So I'm adding stickers to my head here right now because this is apparently the time to do it. And unfortunately, they are stickers because this is a child's model.
Yeah, these are stickers as well. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, oftentimes what they'll do is they'll do stickers as the pack-in, and then you can go and buy
Right.
the water slide decals. I should have brought some of my Japanese toothpicks with me. For proper alignment of these. I guess I can just use the nicely rounded ends of these horns. Might want to show these off on some sort of camera here. I'll let Beej zoom in on that, but the back ends of the horns appear to be just rounded off for your child's safety.
Oh, I see.
Let's use that to force the little green bit in the back there. All right, let's make a head. I never really understood why this particular Gundam has these two extra antennas that come out of the side of the head.
That does seem peculiar. I mean, I guess the temptation is to say aesthetics, but Gundam was always very, like, wanky about the way things work.
It tried to be... Yeah, wanky's a good word for that.
Not to dismiss it at all, but
they-
it was
They appealed to science.
a certain kind of, like, deep nerd, right? Who's like, well, why do they have that there? And they're like, they would always be able to answer.
Why does the turning Gundam have a mustache?
I'm going to go with what Plummeting Sloth says, and it's for picking up ham radio.
Getting showtime.
Yeah, gotta tune into that red Mobile Suit Diaries.
Oh my god. Starring David Duchovny.
Of course, he can't die.
Oh god, is hair char?
No.
Okay. First break.
All right. Yeah, I should have brought tweezers and a toothpick, but here we are. All right. Eyes go in. Eyes don't really. Eyes kind of just float there, so they look into the back.
Hang on. I'll look after it.
I mean, this goes completely against every giant robot assembly instructions I've heard on the television program. Forming the head comes last.
Oh my god.
Right.
Okay. So, I'll unmute you. You're muted.
Okay. And in you go. In you go. Boy, that's so...
That's a good noise.
Yeah. These have... So I think this particular model might be more geared specifically to the younger crowd, just based on how much play there is there in the seam. It's like, you're not going to be able to put together a decent seam on this, so we're just going to make it look okay for you, kid.
Ha.
Oh, and that goes diamond side down. Aha! Thought was put into this when it was modeled. I would have to think this would be a much more difficult job before the advent of 3D computer modeling to actually create these models. All right, that's step 1 done for me.
Okay. I am wrapping step 2 here.
I was going to suggest we should mate your head with my your torso with my head. That doesn't look. It wouldn't be outsized at all.
No, no, no. I'm sure it would be fine. I'm just waiting for some of the welds to solidify.
I think I'm going to keep this super basic on this end. And just go with a friction fit. There's a reason for that.
Oh?
Because sometimes you forget to put something in.
Oh no.
Remember that soft plastic joint I was talking about? Yeah. So thankfully this just pulls apart. It goes in behind his eyes. There we go. Oh, I'm very... Ah, this was the HAL X.
Oh.
I assume those of you in the chat can click through the link on that, but apparently it only sold in limited quantities in Japan, in a convention in Japan a few years ago. So good luck finding that.
Now really, does anyone make a Veritech VF1J?
Oh, I'm certain they...
Yes.
They
have to.
must, right? I just... Whenever I look, I always find the figures, not the kits.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not what I'm looking for.
I think you need... It's where you need to be looking. And especially in North America, it's going to be very hard to find anything Robotech related, thanks to Harmony Gold and their...
Yeah.
wonderful copyright practices.
Yeah. Everyone benefits.
We just all want more Robotech, right?
Yeah.
That's all.
Everybody's working on the same team here.
Yep. Just want a Robotech movie. Other Macrosses? Those aren't a thing.
Just loop it all into Robotech. We'll call it Robotech. Everything is Robotech now.
Well, what's really just annoying about it is that there are other Macross series that exist. I mean, Macross Plus being the best example. And Harmony Gold just refuses to let those... It just refuses to acknowledge it. Anything that's Macross doesn't exist. It's all about those characters you know and love back from the good old Robotech saga.
But why though?
Because they're the ones they own. What did you run into?
Well, it definitely wants me to put a transfer here, but I don't know which one.
Shiru. Oh, the one that's marked E, which I know doesn't help you much, but I can translate if we can pick that up.
I trimmed my fingernails today.
You too?
Yep. Oh, okay. Match the symbols.
Yep. So the symbol you're looking for is the first symbol in my name in katakana.
What the deuce?
Okay, it might be on the other one in the bag on the floor.
There's another one on the bag on the floor.
Probably. Way down in front. Hang on a second.
Oh, so yeah, it looks like there is one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aha, there is.
This bag is empty.
Womp womp.
That would explain it.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, it would want me to
Those
put the
ones.
eyes on. Well, this will be interesting.
The chat is now discussing the theoretical physics of giant robots. Which is an unfortunate thing.
Yep.
That's what I originally got into engineering for.
Really? Robotics?
Yeah, I was interested in not necessarily giant robots, but just robotics in general, and specifically human-operated ones.
This is going to be fun.
That's a sticker too, so
Yeah, very
Good luck.
unforgiving. Sticker applied on the round.
ugh. Absolute worst. The blue definitely shows the cut portions of the plastic more than the white does.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also reading about interesting techniques of taking the leftover sprue, heating it up.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
and
just-
stretching it?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
making
for wire and- yeah.
hosing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what you use on Second World War kits to make the antenna.
Oh,
Yep.
it's the long.
Actually, if you,
The whip
we can
end.
show you how to do it
Yeah,
here if you'd like to.
We might as well.
Yeah, if we have a source of ignition.
I'm pretty sure in one of my toolkits I do.
Hopefully we don't burn the place down, or at least don't set off the fire alarms.
If we do it if we set off the fire alarms doing that, and not any of the other fire-based instances we've had on Tinker Tailor.
Yeah. It's, yeah, you do it with a tea light, right?
Yeah.
It's over very low heat. You just want to take the plastic above, like, it's not even its melt point, just its glass transition temperature.
Just enough to get it moving.
Oh, I love how that sounds. Glass transition temperature. That is a good term, and I'm going to remember it for at least an hour.
I took a polymer thermodynamics course once.
Assume that's one that's probably not worth auditing unless you've got a bit more of a background.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers in there. I very fondly remember sitting in class, doodling something in one of my notebooks, listening because, you know, I doodle when I'm paying attention, if I'm not taking notes. And my prof was, you know, talking about this one derivation of a formula. And he's like, and how do we take a logarithm of a factorial? Cameron. And he just like turns at me and is like, you know, to show that I'm not paying attention and jolt me awake. And I'm like, Stirling's theorem? And he like stops for a second and is like, yeah, we use Stirling's theorem. Good job.
Sir, I
Like,
thought
don't
you were
even look
ready.
up.
Sir, I thought you were ready
Yeah.
for my answer.
But it was just like such a satisfying like like you hear the Dark Souls parry noise.
Masterful deflection.
You think he'd have learned at that point, but he also tried to do something similar at my honors thesis
Oh.
defense, even though I wasn't doodling then, but I was like talking about, I don't know, something about how you could melt this down and take it back up again. And he was like, well, you're really not talking about like melting it down. You're talking about something else. I'm like, well, I mean, like, I kind of am, because if you just do this and this and this, it doesn't work. And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. And the department head is like, ha, gotcha.
Wow. Dominated. This guy does not sound like a barrel of laughs, to be honest.
I really liked Matt, even though he was kind of like he wasn't super. He expected, you to pay attention in class and to be on top of things, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
So he just likes those easy trip 'em up situations.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to your tools, kids.
Afterwards, people were like, "You're kind of hard on Matt." Like, I honestly don't remember any of what just happened. I think I was in a fugue state.
Now there appears to just be a discussion about or at least G-Dwarf is mentioning the correct answer is in fact the Stirling engine, which you then use to power a calculator to solve it for you.
Yes. But how do they solve it? Right? It's like, you can use your calculator to take a cosine, but how does the calculator calculate it?
Electrons.
Question from the chat about your schooling.
Mm-hmm.
What degrees do you hold?
I have 2 undergraduate degrees, one in English literature and the other one in chemistry.
Which one is more cool?
I like both of them.
That's the wrong answer.
My English degree definitely gets more use.
That's the correct answer.
Like, way more use. I found my English degree extremely useful while doing my chemistry degree, because it meant that on exams, when our profs would like give us a paper to read
Yeah.
and tell us, okay, here's a paper that you probably won't have seen before, and I want you to tell me what's going on in it, answer these questions about it, and tell me how it relates to, this other thing that we looked at. And I'd be able to just like look at the paper and go, right?
Yep.
And then walk out in like half an hour. And that was really satisfying. And people would come up to me afterwards and be like, "Are you okay? What happened?" Like, I just
Dominated.
I fucking wrecked you guys. Like, are you okay?
Like, they don't even know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
just
saw the
like
whole thing
five-finger
and they don't
death-
even know.
Yeah, 5-finger death punch, right? It's like, omae wa moshigeru.
Whoa. Okay. I think I figured out step 2. So this probably doesn't apply to you because, as you've mentioned, you don't build Gunpla, and you're not the biggest Gundam fan.
Mm-hmm.
But building something at the SD scale is really messing with my sense of what things are and how they scale together.
Well, like, how do you decide what gets super deformed? Like, obviously the head is much larger.
Yep.
And the body is small. But like, that makes sense for characters. But what about, like, would the fast pack on a Veritech be?
Exactly. How big should that be?
Yeah. What about the guns?
And this,
right?
like, just the size of torso to head is.
Yeah. It must make things difficult to identify on the sprue.
It really does.
It's like if you spent your whole life constructing pickup trucks, and all of a sudden they had you make a super deformed pickup truck.
Yeah, or make like a monster truck.
Yes.
Right, I guess. would be something similar, where like the suspension and the
Super
wheels are
deformed.
enormous.
You are
truck.
absolutely correct. A monster truck is a super deformed
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's got like enormous wheels and like this hideously overdeveloped suspension and then like
And a
enormous
face.
exhaust. Yeah, and a face. Yeah.
And somehow it all has to connect to a standard pickup truck body.
Yeah, and everything else is like diminutive,
Yeah.
right? It's Pico, it's small. I really don't subscribe to the whole arts v sciences thing in academia. They aren't mutually exclusive. They're competing fields of knowledge. They both enrich us.
Yeah, like I found all of my history studies very useful for comp sci.
Yeah, it gives you additional context and more angles through which to approach a problem.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
The argument always comes down to application outside academia.
Mm-hmm.
And people will yell about that forever. They're like, "Oh, you have an English degree, and so that means that you can't be a power engineer or some
Well-
garbage like that. You're not applicable in society." It's
Like,
How useful has your chemistry degree been outside of?
well, and also it's like applicability outside of society is something that's really difficult to perceive with an English degree until you read a document that was written by somebody who's never taken their English courses. Right? Like, anyone who's worked in software knows what it's like to try to read notes written by an engineer who are like, well, you just do this. I'm like, well, what's that? Right? Like, you know what you're talking about, obviously. But, does Corey want to tase me now?
no. Everyone's passing notes. I mean, I have a business degree, so you're talking to somebody who has the ultimate, in this is supposed to be very applicable to what you do.
Right.
And if not, then you're doing something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a function of business as a culture rather than the school of learning that it's part of.
I mean, speaking of business as a culture, I had one class in ethics. We didn't teach ethics as a holistic thing as part of every class we were in. We had one class on ethics, and that was it.
Oh, you're supposed to synthesize it towards various.
Computing science had to take an ethics class with the business students.
Hey!
Wow.
I hope that stuck, because I sometimes get the sense it hasn't. Not in you, for most other people.
No, I understood that was directed at me specifically.
Oh, that's good.
But the amount of times that I've referenced that course or the knowledge gained from that course has been uncountable. Like,
Well, I remember like hearing engineers talk about like ethics. I took a course in ethics. Wasn't that hard, right? I got a B. And it's like,
well, I mean, the
like,
actual stuff that I took away from it
Yeah.
had to do with the presentations we did.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
We had to look up like paraphilias and things like that.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I imagine that the ethics courses that an engineer has to take are to do with professional ethics, right? Because you're asked to, like, depending on your branch of engineering, when you sign off on a bridge, that means something.
Yeah,
like legally, right?
And you have you're much closer to being able to kill a person as an
Yeah.
engineer than you should be as a
Yeah.
business graduate.
Yeah, no, we
And
can
it's
just
not
defraud
like-
people.
It's not like you're studying the Nicomachean ethics, right?
Yeah.
I have made a terrible mistake here. I have missed a step.
Oh no.
Oops.
Did you guys want a pen or something to mark off your steps?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm obviously not good, but
Maybe a tea light and you can burn some sprue over top of the stuff you're done working on. I realize now that my course in ethics actually wasn't a course at all. It was a seminar. I don't think we had to do any exercises. Now I'm worried.
I can loan you some Spinoza if you want.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some Aristotle, some
That would-
Nicomachean ethics.
It'd be very handy. I would finally know what the hell Dresden Kodak's talking about.
Oh God.
I mean, it's okay if you don't. It's fine. Let's just
Somebody should.
yeah.
Oh shit, are we beefing now?
Like just Is that a euphemism, or is that something related to Dresden Kodak or
No.
Aaron Diaz? I
Wave
believe,
off,
is
wave off, wave off.
The artist there.
Disengage.
I actually kind of like Dresden Kodak.
Me too.
I really liked the Hob.
Yeah, the Hobbs story
The
arc
Hob
was
story arc was
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
I haven't read it in a couple of years. I assume there's like 3 or 4 new strips.
I hope so. I might. Maybe I'll check it out later.
Yeah, maybe. But Hob was awesome. I've got the book actually,
Yeah.
like the hardcover.
Oh, yes. Speaking of webcomics, Bob the Angry Flower just released his 10th book.
Oh wow!
Specifically, Stephen Notley, author of Bob the Angry Flower, released his 10th book. Yeah. And that's... And
Is it not a Bob the Angry Flower book?
It is a Bob the Angry Flower book. He is crucified on the front cover.
To the X.
Yes.
In 10.
I
If you spell it 10 with an X.
I
I
loved
don't.
the one Bob the Angry Flower comic that was about Atlas Shrugged. Where he's like, ha ha ha, and now the world's on fire for some reason. Okay. Like, did anyone bring anyone who can grow food? No, all I know how to do is pay people to develop new alloys.
That will become valuable later.
All I know how to do is buy intellectual property rights from people.
Great. You can work at the new Harmony Gold.
Yeah.
All right. I have a torso. It has stickers as well.
How's chat doing?
Well, earlier, someone wanted you to loan Beach some Plato.
Oh. I've got the complete dialogues. Creto's good. I mean, everyone talks about Republic, but there's a lot of good stuff in there.
I got away without taking a single philosophy course.
That's admirable.
I don't know. Actually, I'm completely unsure whether it is or not, but I felt like I went through something.
Some of it's good.
That's good.
Right, that was a history of physics, not a...
Oh, did you take story time?
Sorry, do you have that here too?
Yeah, there's, what is it? Is it Physics 400? That's history of, the history and origin of matter and energy in the universe.
Oh no, that's not what ours was named.
Oh, okay.
Ours was literally just history of physics.
Yeah, I had that.
Oh, okay.
It was basically an excuse to watch Connections.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what story time was as well.
I dropped out, but the professor entered the first day wearing his robes and said that he was an asshole from Toronto, and also that we had to read Strunk and White.
I mean, way to be redundant.
So I'm like,
Holy shit.
Hearts to everyone out there from Toronto who's not a professor.
Toronto.
I mean, this was in Edmonton, so
Yeah.
he knew what he was in for. Making claims like that.
It's a very dangerous claim to make in the West.
I mean, in BC, you have no particular beef with Toronto, as far as I understand. You know, the fact that there exists some amount of Canada between Toronto and Vancouver is
It's
of
a fact.
of academic interest, but little practical application. Then they call you not a real Canadian, and you're like, I'm sorry I couldn't hear you through the tundra. Why are we a country again?
Oh, God. Barely holding it together.
Well, you see, Cameron, 150 years ago, Confederation.
People showed up in Canada
People arrived in Canada.
for the first time ever.
Touche.
And there was a big fight.
And we won!
And now I have a card.
Oh, Christ.
I should go get that renewed. It expired a while ago.
Oh no.
Whoa. Wait. Why do they expire?
I don't know. Make you show up every few
Your
years.
ID expires.
That's a
Yeah.
good
Your passport
point.
expires.
Yeah. I guess they just want you to check in every so often because they miss you.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand my driver's license expiring. That's in order to keep people from being old on the road.
Sure isn't working in Victoria, let me tell you what.
I don't think I'm going to need to bring in any candles. We have so much fire here already.
Is this what getting lit is?
I'm pretty sure.
Who enjoyed Spider-Man?
Which Spider-Man?
The newest Spider-Man.
The most recent Spider-Man was excellent.
It sure was.
What about the one before that?
I didn't watch it.
What about the one before that?
I might have watched it.
What about the one before that?
What was the one with Doc Ock?
2.
2.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Strong opinions. Okay, which side is up for these pants?
A question you ask yourself most
I'm
Sunday mornings.
I'm currently now assembling some sort of Gundam groin. And therefore, I need to know which end is up.
Gundam.
Up on Gundam Groinum style. Blast from 2013.
The hottest hits.
The hottest takes.
See this decisive moment of Ian clicking two things together with a thing in the middle.
Yep, that's a joint. That's an end joint. Okay. Oh no.
Why'd you do that, dude?
I think I have successfully assembled the pelvis without crushing it. There are only a few seams, but that's okay. No one's getting close enough. I'm sure these will just end up on the shelf.
There's a question from chat about where each of us inherited our snark from, saying that Cameron got his from his mother.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Mom used to get into trouble. She once had people at her workplace holding lunchtime prayer meetings that she would go away.
Wow.
Didn't work.
Oh.
Didn't fucking work. That's for sure.
I think I inherited mine from the television, to be honest.
Mine sprung fully formed from my forehead.
Didn't save a single one of them fuckers.
$58. It's on a different sprue. Nope. Maybe it's on this one still?
What about you, Corey? Where does yours come from?
I think I read it in a book. Too much British authors.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds good.
That's, yeah. That definitely feels right. 58, 63, 12.
Those are some weird proportions.
Maybe
Only-
she's 5'2".
She's 1 to 100.
G. Dorf has a question in the chat. Basically, for the rest of the chat, I wonder what U.S. folks would think of the Canadian History Minutes. Because we talk about the Canadian History Minutes quite often,
Yeah.
but I don't know if any Americans have actually really dug into them on their own. Like I know
I
we'll
really
watch them
like
at the
the
drop
Emily
of a
Carr
hat,
one.
but do Americans watch the Canadian History Minutes, and what do they think?
You know what? I'm gonna. The Emily Carr one is actually my favorite one. It's really good.
Send them the Jacques Cartier one. Not you, just whoever I'm talking to, G-Dwarf or whomever is seeing these, or if Arclight's in chat, I'm sure he has them on. But whatever, it's yeah, go check out the Jacques Cartier Canada one.
Oh, is that the village?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
village.
that's probably the best one to give.
Sense of things.
Yeah, how these Canadian History Minutes work. That or the basketball one.
Oh yeah, the James Naismith one.
basket.
James Naismith one is pretty clutch. I like that one.
I'm gonna need those baskets back.
Or the flag one. That one is so disappointing.
We're just like,
I wonder. I really wonder.
both of you know I cannot read a word.
Get through. There's a lot of tragedy in Canadian history.
Like the railway.
Ooh.
Actually, the Halifax explosion one I thought was.
Yeah, the Halifax explosion one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really,
I had no idea about that.
the largest.
I had a comic book
Yeah,
when I
did
was
you?
a kid. Yeah, I had a Halifax Explosion comic book.
Wasn't it the largest non-nuclear explosion on Earth?
Yes.
I think, yeah, man-made.
Up
Yeah.
to that point, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, every nuclear explosion, then like Tunguska,
Yeah, exactly.
several volcanoes, then the Halifax explosion.
I think the what I understood is that when they blew up the rock, the ridge rock in the Georgia Strait here, when they blew that up, that was like the most TNT they'd ever pumped into anything whatsoever. But of course, it all blew up underground. So, but there is footage from the 1950s, the CBC shot of it, because they were live that day and wanted the whole country to see it.
Wow.
Wow. Just think, we could have had Operation Plowshares up here.
Which one was that one again?
That was the one where they wanted to build the Panama Canal using atomic weapons.
Oh, right. Why?
I mean,
Who fucking...
It'll-
Why?
it'll only take 20 years before it's usable.
You
Now-
just look at them and slap them across the face, like in the South Park movie where Brooke Shields is like, I once farted on the set of Blue Lagoon. And Terrence just looks at her and slaps her after this long silence in which nobody says anything. Like, we should build a canal using nuclear weapons. No!
Especially one that connects to the oceans.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, everyone says that the nukes fucked up the Japanese, but I think it might have also done a number on the Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, this ain't normal. That ain't a normal thing to think. That is just not normal behavior. I hate to break it to you, but...
That was a period of history where everything looked like a nail and atomic weapons were the hammer.
So we need a lot of hammers.
We need a heavy lifting rocket vehicle.
Nukes! Just Project Pluto. Fucking light it up. It's just like that thing in The Simpsons where they discover oil underneath a school and everyone's things are getting approved.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, how could this involve nuclear weapons? I suppose we could blow something up with them. Approved!
Didn't they want to irradiate food? I'm sorry, they did irradiate food.
Yeah.
In order to preserve it, or
I mean, there sure aren't going to be many things living in it. And those that do, well, hey, they deserve to live.
Dear God. How did we make it out of the 20th century? Did we make it out of the 20th century?
No, there's a decade missing. Sorry. 10 years ago, still the 90s.
You read about, like, Able Archer. Able Archer 83, and you're like,
How did we actually
it's
make
like,
it out
I
of
think
that?
I found the time travelers. That's it. We as a species used all of our time travel budget in getting us out of the second half of the 20th century.
Well, it's finally happened in that we have kids on YouTube now actually looking at music videos from the early 2000s, like Hoobastank, and saying, wow, well, I wish I was a teenager when this was on the air. Seems like a great time.
Yeah, you could have been drafted and gone to Iraq.
Although I do want to dial it back.
Not drafted, but
Thankfully, that hasn't been reinstated yet. I'm going to pull it back here a bit, back into Canada, 1, and 2. While we're back on the topic of large weapons underwater, turns out there's a plan to try and find and retrieve as many as they can of the Avro arrows currently on the bottom of
saw
Lake
that,
Ontario.
yeah.
Hooray! Yeah. So we can finally put that to bed.
the Avro Arrow, if you're not Canadian, was our aerospace industry's finest moment, and probably
Biggest betrayal?
biggest betrayal by our government.
Diefenbaker's biggest boondoggle.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a Canadian developed, designed, manufactured supersonic interceptor
Yep.
that was made to shoot down Soviet bombers coming over the poles.
with a Canadian designed engine as well.
Yeah, it was supposed to be able to do Mach 3.
Yep. They were looking at ways of using it for assistive satellite launching.
Yeah.
Missile bays.
So if you ever get like a Canadian nerd talking about the Avro Arrow, make sure you have like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah. Because the first thing they'll say is, thank us for NASA.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. It's the
Yeah, all the Avro engineers wound up going to NASA.
Yep.
And then you went to the moon. Well, I mean, we wouldn't have had the resources, I don't think, to devote to that.
Yeah, or the interest.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even want a good fighter plane. Right, save the Arrow. You think you're going to go to the moon?
Missiles
No.
are the future. Let's let the Americans put missiles on our territory. But we don't need the launch codes. We can get those whenever.
Weren't they full of sand?
I don't know, were they? Oh God, was it the case that... Am I wrong in saying that the warheads weren't stored here?
I think so.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Yeah, we could launch them whenever we wanted to. We just couldn't do anything with them.
Yeah, I think the Americans were like, whoa there, little buddy. Oh, don't worry. No, those aren't for you. You don't get to play with those.
But I have a diplomatic pouch that needs to get to Moscow within 4 hours.
The chat has just discovered Dan Aykroyd.
Oh,
The Avro Arrow fucking
There
documentary.
we go.
Docudrama?
Docudrama. Ooh, don't watch. On behalf of
I
Canada.
love it. I love it. I love it.
I was and am a big
Part
fan of that.
of our heritage.
I'm waiting for an HD re-release of it because I do love myself some Dan Aykroyd. That was one of the few things, back when I was first getting into graphic design as a kid, I designed and printed off special labels for my TV copied
Ooh.
versions of the Arrow.
I remember the part where it like buzzes on one of its test flights, the American airfield, and all the Americans are like running around looking at it slack-jawed, trying to climb into their F-86s,
Yep.
being like, oh, but our planes are so feeble compared to this
So-
thing. It's so mighty.
Yeah, it's a good moment.
And I was just like, oh, Christ.
But at least we got a jet-powered truck out of it.
Yeah. Canada, where we're nostalgic for the only country on earth that is sad it didn't get to spend more money on the Cold War.
Yeah.
Arclight has some follow-up about the missiles, in that they gave us the warheads, but they were on a dual-key U.S.-Canadian authorization system, but we didn't mount them ever.
Oh, okay.
So we just kind of like, we'll let you do that. And then somebody said, maybe we just don't put them up? We just don't make them ready to go?
We don't like nukes.
Yeah, that's true.
Good for us.
I know BC is a nuke-free zone. Like that was kind of, at least it had been for many years. I'm hoping it still is. I mean, because otherwise it'd sound weird if I'm like, it is, and then it really isn't right now. But
Tell it to the American sailors you see downtown who come off aircraft carriers.
right, and that's the thing.
Right.
There's that, and also like, that even includes power,
Yeah.
and that I don't necessarily think is
Hydro.
I know Hydro's really good here. Like
Well-
we got so much.
Hydro.
I know Hydro's really good here. Like
Well-
we got so much.
Hydro is good, but
Biofuel.
Yeah.
we're now at the stage where the construction of a new solar plant is the least expensive option of manufacturing power. So,
Like even just something like a molten salt plant is still going to be a lot better.
yeah, well, why anything else? How does
I
this?
love solar. I wish it was better. Solar has problems. Do yourself a favor and never look up pictures of a solar panel manufacturing plant. if you don't like pictures of
I recently watched the How It's Made on solar panels.
yeah, silicon is not a clean material. Boluses of silicon are not clean things to make. That being said, I love solar power.
Hey,
Why build a fusion reactor? We've got one. It's up there.
like you wish it's getting better, and that's the nice thing is it is.
I mean, that's what my honors thesis was about, making
Oh.
recyclable photo or optoelectronic materials.
I do need to clarify for the chat that Canada's against nuclear weapons, not nuclear reactors.
Yeah,
We got loads of those.
Yeah, we
have-
make real good ones, or
Put
at least we
them
did.
all over our schools and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're called the Can Do.
yeah. They're I forget the name of the type, but they're apparently quite good. We use them everywhere, but
By type, do you mean like yellow cake or?
yeah,
Are you
they're
talking about, like,
super
tokamak?
reliable and
Yeah, there's a name for the type, but I
yeah,
know
I,
what you're-
I forget.
It's the
CANDU.
DU is depleted uranium, isn't it? Like, isn't
God,
that-
I hope not.
Or no, wait, it's deuterium.
Uh,
Oh God,
Undergarment.
it's been so long. Well, the whole thing I don't think stands for, but yeah,
It's not a backronym.
but we sold. I mean, we sold that
It's
design.
Canada
around the world.
deuterium uranium.
Okay.
So I
well,
got
that makes
close.
sense. We got tons of uranium.
We've
got a whole
we
city.
made a city of it.
We don't really.
Yeah.
We did not build the city out of
We
uranium.
built this city out of
Fissionable materials.
238. This is upside down. 48 and 46. Woo! Shoulders. How's it going for you, Cam?
Good. How's it going, Graham?
Fine. How are you?
So you just came in to shut the stream down. Like, y'all got to go home.
Yeah.
There's been a gas leak.
Graham likely wants us to go on break so that he can upload some things without
That's
killing us.
You know what? We are actually, yes, well overdue for a break. We're going to take a break. Graham's going to upload some things, and then we'll be right back with more of Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry Gunpla Edition. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're here. I'm Ian,
I'm Cameron.
and we're building Gunpla.
Yeah.
Cameron is building the Gundam Mark II, and I'm building the GP03 Dendrobium in super deformed capacity. And I think I am just about to put together a robot bicep.
Out of curiosity, was there a Gunpla community under Twitch?
Yes, there was. There were
Oh.
a couple of them, actually.
Really?
And we chose number 1, and there were 2 people watching, so we are number 3.
All right. I'm never quite sure how to use community tags.
Me either.
I don't know, I generally grab ones that seem like either a good joke or if there is one that literally applies, I'll pull that one in. Oh. 62 and 61. Oh, I'm not actually making a bicep. This is literally the fist.
Yeah, that's got to be a hard thing. Yeah, like you're saying, the anatomy being super deformed makes it difficult to like anticipate what you're actually doing.
Yeah, and I wasn't even sure what these were until I was forced to look harder at them. Because generally on the Gunplas, you, at least the ones I've dealt with, there's a lot of articulation in them, and so you'll get hands that are actually able to grip a pistol. These ones just have the open hole, a la G.I. Joe.
Or Rob Liefeld. Ooh, slam out of nowhere.
How many pouches are on one of these Gundams? I mean, he's still doing work, so.
Somewhere Rob Liefeld's like, what the fuck, man? He's just trying to ink a panel.
He must say that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he also win a draw like Rob Liefeld contest?
I think he won a pose like Rob Liefeld draws contest. Where he like stuffed a basketball up his t-shirt.
Oh my god.
And did one of these. And they were like, all right.
Yep.
Fair play.
Do you think he actually just does that then for his own reference poses?
I don't know, maybe. But he's apparently got a good sense of humor about himself.
That's great. Just because I don't like his stuff doesn't mean that he can't be paid well for it.
Yeah.
Now Todd McFarlane, on the other hand, his weird-ass logo for the Edmonton Oilers.
How long have you been carrying that around for? Oh my god! Some pain you need to share?
Well, I just remember when it was announced that this was happening because I had no interest in hockey as a child and I had zero interest in Spawn.
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting them to unveil this logo with this crazy demon and a puck and
Okay.
some sort of skull. And it turned out just to be a gear. Did he do the gear drop?
I think it might have been the gear drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which was only, I think, accepted as like a third jersey. It wasn't accepted as the official jersey.
It never quite got there.
Yeah. Or rather, they could wear it to play,
I'm glad
but they abandoned it.
I'm glad we got through the 90s quick is what I'm saying. Because we eventually came
In
back
10 years?
we came back around to some nostalgia for some of the classic designs for hockey logos and jerseys, and they're classic for a reason.
I mean, I am a huge fan of the copper and, I guess it's not navy, but the darker blue.
That's exactly the one I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I really like that they went with that for the Oilers colors as opposed to sticking around with the royal blue and the bright orange, which is a fine colorway in itself, but I really like that it's like, oh, like a Christopher Nolan film, you guys just got darker. I understand. Like you've changed the universe slightly. That's cool. But it did look pretty sharp. And the LA Kings moving from bright yellow and purple to that black and silver thing, the black and silver outfits did look pretty rad.
Well, didn't they do that for like some sense of unity with the Raiders?
I think it was also because Gretzky was moving to the Kings and they're like, we got to do a whole special thing because he's showing up.
Right.
And I think, yeah, there probably was an inspiration with that too, where it's like, we should, why not do the same kind of thing? People, of course, joked that it was like the reason they changed it because Gretzky was like, there's no goddamn way I'm putting that jersey on. You got to design something nicer than that.
I have a real hard time imagining Wayne Gretzky saying the words "goddamn."
Gosh tootin'.
The man seemed like a saint.
He's not dead.
I mean, when he was in our town for a very long time.
He is in your town.
Did he
Los
move back to
Angeles?
Edmonton?
Did he move back to Edmonton?
Because
I think at least part-time.
he's like part owner of the team now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, because I know he's also making whiskey. Or like he's allowing his name to be branded upon whiskey.
Okay, that's probably a little more accurate, yeah. Like Dan Aykroyd does not make Crystal Skull vodka, but if he
in
did,
his basement, I don't know. This is Dan Aykroyd. The Crystal Skull vodka was. They were nice bottles. They made good decanters. Hey, look, it's an arm.
oh hey, let's look at that arm.
Enhance.
I'll have to zoom first. Now I can enhance. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. You can see the grippy piece on top with which you'd use to retract weapons from the weapon pods.
Dude, I am just impressed.
Do you mean hand?
No. There's the second claw hand that comes from. Like, imagine if your
forearm?
one of your bones in your forearm just decided to flip out, and a second like claw came out of your elbow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's... I'm actually just pictures of Ghost in the Shell shit here right now, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Fair,
getting like
okay,
Jinji
yeah.
Ito, like Parasite, or like Terraform Mars, like
Yeah.
some body horror happening right now.
Open your mind.
Oh, Quatu.
Just imagine if your ulna took a trip. Just
I'd rather not.
All right, I'm taking off.
Okay.
Have a good night, Graham.
Yeah, you too. You were talking about. Oh, hey, you're talking about Crystal Skull vodka like it's dead or something.
Oh no, it's
No,
still
it's
very
still
much
very
around.
much alive,
Yeah.
whether you want it to be or not. Hey, chat, what's up?
Was it any good?
It was vodka.
Yeah, like it's vodka, right? Like
Does it taste like vodka?
Yes.
Well, that's where they went wrong.
Like you can only fuck it up so badly, but even if you do it well, it's still vodka.
So
Yeah.
I guess the reason I'm talking about it like it went away is because I didn't buy full disclosure, I did buy 2 bottles of Crystal Skull vodka and drank 2 bottles of Crystal Skull vodka.
now?
Yeah, just before the stream today, so I'm
Is that why you
Daddy
can't-
needs his
Is
medicine.
that why you can't say Crystal Skull vodka?
you can get the bottles at the dollar store now.
Really good, because that's what I want back. I bought the 2 bottles, drank them, and then decided to use them as decanters for cheap whiskey that I would keep at home to give to my friends and guests.
Why is that in quotations?
Because it's all for him.
Friends get the good whiskey.
Guests are not his
Friends
friends.
get the Alberta Premium.
People who stay at his house are not his friends.
People,
They're from Airbnb, apparently.
people who stay at the Price is Right are not the friends of the Price is Right. Wardrobe considerations by this guy. Wardrobe considerations by Pat Sajak's mom.
Do you think?
That'd be cute.
Is Mrs. Sajak still alive?
I'm gonna have to. Actually, maybe. Modern medicine is an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never considered about what the family life of TV show hosts must be, though.
Do you think they're just always on?
Jesus, like Alex Trebek goes home.
I think Pat Sajak is. I don't think Alex Trebek has an on.
All right, so I'd like to reveal to everyone tonight's dinner. We have mashed potatoes.
I was so impressed. The screenshot somebody took of the 2 categories.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was Shaka and then when
the walls fell.
and I'm like,
Oh my god! There is a nerd somewhere in the back
And
end of that show.
and I bet
What?
Jeopardy?
Of Jeopardy?
I feel like
Fine.
Trebek knew, like he saw that and was like, I know what this is all about.
Well, like the way he read his name backwards as though it had been said before, right? Like he must have known about it and practiced maybe. Just for like, yeah, someday someone's gonna put my name backwards.
Yeah.
And peace in.
Contiguous Kitty Cat asks, Der Lurfolk, what's the worst alcohol you ever drunk and why?
You Evie Dunk?
Every drunk.
Every drunk. Fireball?
No, I've actually found out.
Fireball's fine.
I've
I'm
actually
just throwing
found
that out there. I'm like, as
I've-
a starting place, I don't drink alcohol.
found a way to make Fireball good, and that was with the apple cinnamon drunkio, which is a shot of Fireball in the bottom of a pint of cider.
What's the worst alcohol I've ever had?
that
It's
that white scotch. The one that gave us that massive hangover.
Oh, geez. Yeah, the White Owl. White whiskey.
I gotta hand it to the bottle of Grower's cider that somebody brought to a party in high school. That was,
Oh, the 2-liter pop bottle ones?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
BC Grower's cider. That was a bad idea.
I missed my opportunity to throw in, but Ian, you know better than to drink white spirits.
Try to remember why now.
No, it's because white spirit is used as a camping fuel.
Oh, yes, right.
Also referred to, I think, as white gas.
Yep.
Methylated spirits.
Sorry, I was trying to remember where we're
Yeah.
going with the reference.
Yeah.
We have many levels.
Yeah, no real reference there. Just that.
Is this a Métis thing I don't remember?
I thought I would like Grower cider
It's
Why?
It's terrible.
Yeah,
because I like peaches, so I would probably enjoy like peach cider. I've never had that. I've never had a wine cooler either. It's just-
there are much better peach things to put
Although
in your mouth.
you like artificial sweetener, so I
Yeah.
think maybe cider is your
I could
your bet.
I could enjoy that. Interesting.
I'd say a nice peach schnapps-based cocktail.
Well, the fuzzy navel, right? When I heard about that when I was like 13 years old, I'm like, maybe that is an alcohol I'll end up drinking and liking. Never tried one. No idea what it tastes like.
Well, I mean, I'd gladly make one for you, but that would require me to buy peach schnapps.
Yes.
I'll take a fuzzy navel and the girliest drink you make. 2 fuzzy navels coming up.
The only thing that's coming to mind right now is chartreuse, but I actually enjoyed that by the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like there's
chartreuse
that,
is nice.
that tactical nuclear penguin was really bad.
Yeah, that was a bad beer.
I'm sorry, the what?
It was a high proof stout, if I recall.
Yeah, it's one of those let's make beer as alcoholic as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Right. Novelty
Yeah.
brews.
Yeah. And job one is to get you drunk as expensive as possible.
All right, we have another question. What is the best candy bar, both widely available, and which is limited in availability?
Coffee crisp.
Payday.
I don't eat candy bars, really. I like anything with, like, a crunch.
Crispy
Crunch bar.
Like, I like crunch bars. I used to, at least.
Yeah,
They're
I used-
probably like
I used to-
garbage tier.
Hang on.
But-
Crispy crunch, crunch or crunchy?
Crunch.
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 Nestle crunch.
Nestle
Crunch, the
Crunch.
blue one with
That is
the
good.
red crunch written on it.
Yeah.
There's little Rice Krispies in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not great chocolate,
No.
but it was the mouthfeel I was looking for,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, because the person did say candy bar, as opposed to like straight up like.
Which is why Payday is okay, and I'll let that slide.
Well, I'm placing it under the restricted availability category because it's not available in Canada.
Yeah. Eat more.
Not the same in the slightest.
I've never met a single person who likes Eat More other than my mother.
What?
That's
You've seen me
very
eat like
odd.
5 of them.
I have never watched you eat a candy bar because that would be rude.
Beach has never seen me eat. Okay. Not because I haven't eaten in front of Beach.
No. Sir, I'll have you know I'm a married man and I won't eat with any other woman.
N on the
Now hold
bottom.
still, let me put my hands all over your billion-dollar aircraft. Spacecraft, damn it.
Hey, Ian.
Yes.
Batwall in the chat suggests eating candy corn with peanuts. It's like a deconstructed PayPal.
I can believe that actually now
And
that
we could just go to Bulk Barn and load up.
Wait, hang on. Instead of a payday, can we call that a PayPal?
Let's go to Bulk Barn to get a PayPal.
there's a lot going on right now for me because this is clicking a lot of things into place as to why I like
Ian
candy
loves
corn.
candy corn.
I do like candy corn. I do like PayPal. I'm not sure how to feel about this.
I think we should make more candy bars based after personal financial transactions.
It's very Mitch Hedberg.
Yes. Like, what would you call an Apple Pay? It would have to be based on a payday, but it would have to have something else in it.
That'd be one of those like green apple caramel combinations.
Oh yeah. So a little
With
sour,
maybe like a
but
nougat.
sweet. Yeah. Okay. Because paydays are like peanuts and caramel.
Yeah, nougat.
Okay. Is it nougat?
It is nougat.
Okay.
It's not Roman nougat, but it is a nougat.
Question from the chat: do you eat candy corn in order? White, yellow, then orange.
Oh, yes. Sometimes.
Like you only bite all the white bits off first,
Well,
and then put the rest
Per
aside.
piece, you break it off, and then you. I don't think it changes the taste, but I can't tell.
Well, that's like people who like my brother telling me when I was young. He's like, the red Smarties taste like cherry, and I would eat them and be like, no, they don't. He's like, they totally do. Like he was trying to convince me that they all had a different flavor, and I'd eat them like, they don't taste any different, and he like, they totally do, and I'm like, okay, they totally do. You're right.
I mean, that's entirely true of like the purple Fruit Loops, but
yes,
Yeah.
the purple Fruit Loops do taste different. It's weird. I don't know why.
they're the best. Gotta sort those out for last.
I remember growing up and not even having purple Fruit Loops.
I wasn't allowed Fruit Loops.
Oh, your parents loved you.
Yeah.
Wow, they loved you in that bad way.
Yeah.
Where you, they
Like
didn't
no
give you what
sugary
you wanted.
breakfast cereals.
That's why I didn't have Lucky Charms.
We couldn't find Lucky Charms in our town for the longest time.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah. Oh, God, we went to the States one time, and my brother and I were so excited because my parents were like, okay, you can get whatever cereal you want. So we went, yes, Golden Grahams. Golden Grahams are clearly the answer.
Oh, it was Apple Jacks for me.
Well, see, we just were like, it has to be Golden Grahams because it's like graham crackers and syrup, and we're like, both of those things sound amazing. We have to have that, and so we got a box of Golden Grahams, and we bring that back to the thing, and we pour ourselves a bowl the next morning and have it. It was awful.
Oh, then it's like me and Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, see, right? And my brother did that. He tried that one time. He tried like Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles like the one time, and he was like, these are not good. And I'm like, that is a lie, but he wouldn't share them with me. So I don't know whether they were good or not. But Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which was not available in Canada for the longest time, when we had that when we were on vacation in the States one time, it was like, oh, that is truly the answer.
Did
effed
you ever
up.
get the French Toast Crunch?
No,
With the little tiny pieces of French toast?
we didn't visit when it was available. Like, you lived in the States for a while. You had many options.
Just a year.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I loaded up on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's like, ooh. Make the water sugary. I mean, milk.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really, that lactose
Giving up the
intolerant?
pretense, huh? It makes all the vodka really syrupy. I mean, the milk. The milk. It makes the milk all sugary.
I do want to say that that's not a thing that I would do, but at the Latchkey, we would take the snack things and combine them in that way. So you get like a little cup of orange juice or milk, and then you just dunk the Nilla wafer and leave it and make a mush. Nilla wafer and orange juice. Really good.
Have you tried breakfast cereal but with like a cream-based liqueur? Like, could you do that?
No.
No, it wouldn't work out.
No, I tried coffee. That was not a good idea. And
Have you tried Soylent coffee?
No.
The one that tastes like used milk and coffee.
Sorry,
Used
used
milk.
milk.
Coffeeist, I think is what it's known as, yes. Used milk. I like, because not spoiled milk, because we all know what that tastes like. Used milk.
Well, yes, we all know what it tastes like now that we've had the jelly bean.
Yes. Actually, no, because now I'm curious. Cameron, you're an adult now.
Yeah.
Have you gone to the store and bought your own sugary breakfast cereal just to give it
I
a try?
try them when Julie gets them.
Okay.
They're no good. They're. I mean, if I wanted candy, I'd go and buy candy.
Right. But you've then since, like, you've had Fruit Loops since?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, these are.
Yeah. It's like sweet Cheetos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Yeah. Now I understand. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for sparing me this experience.
Sweet Cheetos is not
Sweet.
how I would Describe cereal.
I'm trying to. I mean, anything that's like extruded corn puff. you
It
know,
also
it's
sounds like a Weird Al parody.
Sweet
Cheetos
Cheeto.
Sweet Cheetos are made of these.
Oh, sweet Cheeto of mine.
Foot complete.
This isn't foot.
No, you're thinking of the Foot Clan. Oh, good. I'm supposed to do those at the same time. Good.
I believe I'm working on one of the legs right now.
Kind of looks like it. The shield looks fantastic at the very least.
Yeah, there's some neat sub-assemblies in here.
Yeah, this is actually
grab those.
the first one that I've seen in the 144 scale.
What scale is that one?
Larger. I
Okay.
don't remember exactly. Oh wait, I might have the instruction manual here from some of my previous attempts. It's from a fixed figuration. Ooh, these are nifty. They're wire glasses that are meant for figures. I haven't taken them out of the package yet because they're for some of my Figmas, but yeah. This is the sort of customization stuff you can get. Just
Are they literally wire?
yeah, they're literally wire. You clip them off the wire sprue. And
Oh, it's photo etch.
yeah,
Yeah.
Neat.
yeah. Modeling support goods from Kotobukiya. Those cost me $6.09. I have a problem.
Luckily, Model Support Goods has the solution.
Yes.
Cuttlefish Man asks, Ian and Dr. Slur, what is the best pastry/treats to dunk in milk, coffee, and tea, respectively?
Tea, I would definitely go with a Tim Tam.
Yeah, I like Tim Tams. I like biscotti in coffee. It's kind of like the Italians looked at hardtack and were like, who did this to you? It's okay. We
Rebuild you.
fixed it. Who did this to bread?
I've recently come around on donuts and coffee.
Really?
Yeah. Just that sweet puff.
Let's
Peak
be.
freeze.
Let's Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafels?
Someone tried to correct pronunciation
Yeah.
in the chat the other day. And I tried to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've recently given up on trying to please people with my pronunciation of words after somebody in chat on my stream this morning was like, say Pollyanna again. And I was like, nah, fuck you. Nah, that wasn't that rude, but it was like, the way you say that word is really funny. And I'm like, okay.
And that's what I'm here to do.
Pangling. Pendling. Wasn't it?
Pangwang.
Pengwang. Yes, Pengwang.
I'm sorry, is that how you pronounce pangolin?
No, that was Benedict Cumberbatch trying to say penguin.
Oh, right.
Pingling.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Penguin-san, Penguin-san. Yeah, no, I'm down with peak freeze in tea mostly. But I drink my tea as milk tea, so. That just, it reminds me of my grandparents.
Yeah, generally I don't put anything in my tea. I like it.
I mean, digestives are rad. Like,
Yeah, but then you just eat those
Yeah.
on their own.
yeah, I
You
mean,
just
I
eat
can
the
do
whole
that.
stack.
But I
Get a
love,
sleeve.
I mean, God, I was buying digestives with the chocolate backing on them.
Oh
and-
no, I got the cinnamon ones and I can't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to stop buying all these for our house. Yeah.
All right, there we go. I've recently come around to Biscoff, though.
Oh?
That's the cookie that you often find on planes these days. It's sort of cinnamon-ish. and
Okay.
it's sort of it's Europe's favorite snack cookie, according
Really?
to the packaging,
Oh.
which I find dubious, but
All of Europe. That great homogeneous landmass of Europe.
I do love getting tomato juice on a plane now.
Oh?
I tried that out when they said, "Oh yeah, tomato juice tastes like really good and very different when you're drinking it at altitude," and I'm like, horse feathers. And then I tried it, and I'm like, oh, I actually enjoy this. This is nice.
That's wonderful, Beach.
Have you considered that you just like tomato juice?
I don't know if I do normally.
Have you eaten tomato juice or drunk it
Either
at sea level?
It's been a long time.
I
But
feel
though I
somebody was
wasn't
setting you up like that was Die Hard, right? Like, hey, oh, having trouble sleeping on the plane, take your shoes off. Right? Later.
I'm not defending anyone when Beach gets a machine gun.
Ho, ho, ho. I don't know how to operate a machine gun.
But a very different movie.
Yep.
Right, we're remaking we're remaking Die Hard with Beach in the Bruce Willis role,
Okay.
and we're just going to have Reginald.
Phil Johnson?
He'll instead play his character from
Die Hard 2.
from Family Matters.
Okay, I was going to be like, no, he's going to play the character from Die Hard 2 instead of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Same guy, but...
Yep. And
Actually, no, I want him to play Samuel L. Jackson's character from Die Hard 3.
who played Dumbledore in the later movies?
You mean all the other movies except for one?
Yes.
Um,
Technically, they were the later movies.
I forget.
Was it Gambon?
Yeah, Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon, right.
Yeah.
We'll have Michael Gambon take on the role of Hans Gruber.
All right, then.
Do you remember anything that Hans does or says in that movie?
Yes, I want to say. Not directly, but
I just remember everything Jeremy Irons did in that movie. That other movie,
Okay.
where he played his brother.
Jeremy Irons played his own brother.
No, he played the brother of Alan Rickman's character.
Okay.
Jeremy's Iron.
God bless the day.
A Rickman one.
68. All the way over here.
All right, you got me.
Oh, these are arms.
Oh, yes.
Neat.
Strong.
Do they articulate?
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
J. That's coming together rather nicely.
Yeah. All right, now I have to do the other side. Same thing, do it over again, only backwards. Hot diggity.
Installation is the reverse removal.
Remember floating around Twitter recently, there was a screen cap or a picture from a strawberry shortcake dollhouse manual.
Mm-hmm.
It was step 11. Okay, now stop.
Collaborate and listen.
Listen, go back and review this. Now's a good time to take a break and review the things you've done up to this point. Because at this point, it'll be impossible to go back and fix things that you've done incorrectly.
That's really good. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a really good step.
Yeah. Just here's the warning. If you go any farther,
I wish video games had that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you go past this point, you will not, like, this is a checkpoint. Or not a checkpoint, but
They
a...
do have that.
In all the games I play,
Well, actually,
They're like, are you sure you want to continue?
and
Maybe
I've,
you should go buy some things.
probably because I have play a lot of baby games. Games for
Yeah, we play baby games like Undertale and
Ever Oasis.
Ever Oasis.
and again, I want to talk then just a bit about Mass Effect in that respect, or Mass Effect 2, because it got me. with
Yeah, well,
the
Mass Effect 2 kind of lies to you.
Yeah, it does a little bit, making you think that, oh yeah, I've got plenty of time to mop up all these extra missions.
Oh.
Whoops.
I mean, like, there's a logical sense to the fact that if you don't go and rescue your crew as soon as possible, after they get kidnapped, they get pulped.
Exactly. But if you're thinking with video game logic up to that point, of course, yeah, of course I've got time.
I guess that's a little bit of the, what is it, Temple of Horrors?
Tomb of
effect?
Horrors?
Tomb of Horrors.
But because I was playing with a sense of accepting everything that I've done, accepting all of my actions, I then had to kill or leave a lot of people dead.
I actually got that perfect the first time.
That's
Brr, 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 brr. Got out full, no crew dead.
feels good, I'm sure.
Yep, really did. You should try it.
We got a question in the chat here from Kush did 711. Any advice for someone heading off to university, especially with regards to making new friends?
Change your username.
Damn.
First off, don't change your
Never
username.
change your username, Kush.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Tell everyone your username.
Oh, wow. Really? To be honest, do you have interests? Find the club that matches your interest. Do you have things that you are interested in trying? Find the club that matches your interest.
If you join a club that matches your interests and those people are douchebags, get out of that club.
Yes.
You're going to spend a lot of time not enjoying yourself. Make new interests, I guess.
My advice is to be, unpretentious and accepting and, be open-minded, friendly, I guess.
And do try some new things from time to time.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I almost joined a frat.
I mean, it's
Go on.
it's a bit like getting into a new social environment is a bit like it's like Dark Souls, right? Where people ask you how to play, how do you do this? How do you play this game? How do you get good? And it's like you have to be really aggressive. Except when being aggressive will get you killed. Then you have to be cautious, right? And it's the same thing, right? Where it's like, be accepting and open-minded and friendly to people. Except when you should be critical.
Yeah.
And then it's just like
And so-
suffering.
Yeah.
Suffering. Maybe you get it sometime. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't. Maybe you stop playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, I guess part of making new friends and being socially adept is knowing when it's good to set boundaries and knowing when it's good to be open.
And not to blow out a cliche, but college is a great time to experiment. It's not going. That's not your life forever.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
I spent the first semester in university in a brand new town, living with my parents. We'd moved to a brand new town, and so I was able to go to university there. But I was new and didn't know anybody there. Trying to reconnect with my old friends from high school who were coming to the same university, which that didn't work because they had all different times and whatever. But I spent 4 months not making friends with anybody, and when people would try to make friends with me, feeling very like, I don't know if I want to be friends with you because I don't know what you're into and the things that you like or whatever, because I'm bad at doing that kind of thing. So I didn't make friends with anybody. And then I found the anime club and thought, well, here's a place I can spend some time. And even that took like about a month. So don't be afraid to like don't feel like, oh my God, if I don't do this within the first month or two of getting here, then my social life is ruined forever. People don't care.
Yeah.
You'll meet
But I
people
would
later.
recommend starting soon so you don't just get like lost in oblivion of loneliness and
Yes. Look around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Also, I found it was really good just to depending on your field of study, just to study with your classmates,
Yep.
right? Try to make arrangements to meet and go over classwork.
You're
And
going to have to do group projects too. So
Yeah.
if you can find a group of people you know you can work with early on.
yeah. And it also helps, maybe your learning style isn't lecture learning style. Maybe you need to teach other people. Maybe you need to say things out loud. Maybe copying other people's notes into your own language, right, is what you need. So there's a lot of chance for both academic success and social happiness.
Get in there. Don't get in there.
I guess the other thing would be too is like, in this day and age, you can also have friends on the internet, and that is an okay thing to have.
Yeah, you're going into this probably with a pretty decent social graph, which is very different from what we had.
Yeah.
I mean, take our advice with that in mind. That it might not be for you.
When I was in whatever year it was, I got onto Usenet and lost many hours to alt.fan.sailormoon.
Okay, that's not a problem kids today will have.
No, it's true, but it does make me look back at it and be like, wow, I spent a lot of time there, and people started to like me on there, which was cool too. But it also really felt like, Jesus, I'm spending an awful lot of time doing this to the neglect of a lot of other things that I should have been doing, like studying. I don't know how to study, but I mean, maybe actually doing a better job of my homework and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's something I wish I'd done more of.
Yeah, just spending a little more time to do that.
Yeah, like definitely you want to focus on your academics. Don't lose sight of why you're there. You're there to learn. But there's also a lot of valid different ways to learn.
Yeah.
But there will be a whole... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you just get out of university or college what you put into it. So,
Yeah.
And there will be a whole bunch of opportunities, especially in the first few weeks of class, for mixing and meeting people. And don't pass any of those up. Don't wear yourself out, but they're very valuable, and it's a great way to meet people in a low-risk environment.
and while you're also setting boundaries for yourself or doing, whatever you feel like doing, be sure to pay attention to other people and respect what they need.
But don't feel you have to go play Ultimate Frisbee with a bunch of guys because they keep trying to invite you to go, if that's not something you're into.
Yeah, just be honest. Be like, I'm not down, but later maybe. Something else. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing something you don't want to do.
Big deal. So which frat did you almost join, Beej?
Kappa Alpha.
Which one are what's their...
Kappa Alpha.
Okay.
That's just it.
Okay. I got pushed towards the Fijis.
Oh, neat. Okay.
I don't remember which
I
one
think
they
you're
are.
thinking of the Fujis.
No fighting.
So, no, the dude was really nice. Like, it was just, I was looking around everything in the, because they have a week of welcome at every university, it seems, and this one specifically at U of A, you walk around the Butterdome, and just after getting your one card, and the frats had a lot of places open. I talked with a guy who was about my height, and he was wearing like a Kappa Alpha sweatshirt, and he seemed really happy dude, really laid back, and he's like, yeah, we do whatever, and he's like, do you want to, I can invite you to some of our events if you're into that? I'm like, yeah, why not? Sure, okay, cool. And then I put my number down and whatever, and he called me like 2 or 3 times to be like, you want to come play Ultimate Frisbee with us? It's out at like Carlac Park. I'm like, no, not really into doing that. That's okay, but thank you. And then he called me for another thing. Oh, you're having a party at whatever time. You want to come by? And like, no pressure kind of deal. I'm like, again, not really my thing, so thank you. And then after that, they stopped calling, which I was like, that's actually ultimately what I wanted, I think.
Yeah. A way out.
Yeah.
At least one member of the chat picked up on Butterdome, which I kind of felt like cutting in to say that it's the athletics building at the University of Alberta.
Yeah, the
it's
Van
large
Vliet
and
Center.
yellow,
Yeah.
and it is called the Butterdome.
Because it looks like a giant.
It does not look
Stick
like
of-
a stick of butter.
No,
It's
it
just
doesn't.
yellow.
It's a
It's just
giant
yellow.
yellow building.
So remember how you were talking about like making legs?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I guess I should do this on camera here, but mine doesn't have legs.
Really? Just the feet
The
go straight
feet
on?
just kind of pop right onto
Huh.
these little
Oh,
stubs.
that's very cute.
They can get all kicky.
Who does that animation style? Where it's just like the head and a very short torso and then the feet?
Oh,
The guy who did Double King? Is that who we're talking about?
I don't know.
but honestly, I'm thinking what you're describing brings to mind Akira Toriyama's Dr. Slump and the first Dragon Ball.
It's an American
Oh.
animator.
Is this also the dude who did the Prince Marky D
Yes.
Party
yeah,
Legend? Yeah, same,
yeah.
same guy who did Double King. Okay, what was his
Okay.
name again? Zephram Cochran.
Felix Colgrave.
Thank you.
Yeah, there.
This goes together in some interesting ways. So the backpack attaches to the back, but then has a little hole there, which attaches to here.
Can you do a little? Hang on. I'm just gonna bring the camera up a tiny bit. Oh yeah, we see it.
So I guess it can bend back a bit sometimes if need be. I don't know why it would need to. And then you just click that down like that, I guess.
Neat.
Let's get his head on there.
Oh, so the legs can kind of like flow out behind the suit maybe a bit.
I don't think that's supposed to show its opening.
Oh.
No.
If I had a dime.
Every time someone tried to show you their opening.
I'd have like 50, 60 cents.
You should really stop taking the bus, Cameron.
I guess, yeah, it's a financially neutral. You know, you can make back. God. God.
But you gotta establish that at the beginning of the interaction and not later.
God.
Okay, so we got dudes ready. Now I need to build his backpack. Do we want to take a quick break here?
Sure.
Yeah, get up and stretch around. We're going to take a short commercial break. Thanks for watching. We'll be back to finish up our foray into Gunpla after this message from our sponsors, which are us.
Hello.
The Tinker Tailor sold or fry. My mouth is full of candy.
Mine too.
I'm Ian. This is Cameron.
Hello.
We're building Gunpla today. And you've got a torso
Yep.
and some arms.
What?
And a head and a shield and some weaponry.
No, where? There we go.
Oh, reference T-pose.
Just snap into the T-pose.
Oh, did you figure out what the headband is?
The headband?
Oh, it's this piece over here.
No, I didn't.
That's
It doesn't appear in the instructions anywhere.
Oh, right there.
Oh. I guess, yeah.
Yep, that is apparently, well, not apparently. That's the Vulcan cannon
Oh, really?
system.
Oh, okay.
So rather than having everything internally, it's another
Neat.
weapon you can mount exterior.
Cool.
Now I need to make a weapons backpack, or a stamen, I believe, is what it was referred to. Darkness King COH, any updates on the Dreamcast? Yes, the Dreamcast is still not working. I haven't had a chance to test the SATA to IDE adapter that I got from China with the proper power supply, but once I do that, I might just be abandoning that system entirely because I found a Chinese supplier of boards that plug directly into where the GD-ROM plugs in. So what we'll probably end up doing for the Dreamcast is ordering one of those boards, given that they're, I think, $23. So it's not anything that's going to break the bank, and it will work properly the first time. But what we'll still need to do is make a BIOS mod, because I would love to be able to boot directly into the Dreamcast Dream Shell, and you can't do that with the built-in BIOS. So that'll involve me at least taking a new BIOS chip, flashing it. Well, I think we'll flash it afterwards. Yeah, flashing it once we get the once we get it bent pin-wise on top of the original BIOS chip, putting in some switches so we can swap back and forth between original and modified, and then Bob is your uncle. All right. So we've
Rest in peace, Uncle Bob. That's not true. He's alive. He's doing fine.
No, he's actually quite dead.
Oh,
I have an Uncle Bob, or rather, I had an Uncle Bob. He was a gruff but kind man, and he loved to fix things. In fact, he probably would have loved this program if he'd known what the hell was going on.
dedicated to all the Uncle Bobs.
Yeah. All right. Just gonna, given I'm behind on the arms race, I'll extract my own beam cannon. Oh, that was unintentional, actually.
That makes it worse.
Your feigning ignorance only makes the punning worse.
Speaking of going away to college, my Julie's little cousin is recently packed off to college, and what Julie and her sister bought for her as like a graduation present was a Japanese candy box subscription.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you
So similar
remember-
to the one that we have at the office, she's going to get a box of like weird Japanese treats every month.
that can be great.
Yeah, I think that might actually be like quite cool, hopefully.
Do you remember which service they're going to be?
No. Let's see. Now we have to choose. Do we want the melee weapon or the... oh wait, we can just unplug them. We can swap back and forth.
Yep, they are not
They're n-
mandatory.
yeah.
Is there a space behind this shield to store the beam saber?
Mm,
I don't believe there is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure on...
Especially since the beam saber is mounted to the hand.
Oh, I see.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's, I guess, the affordance they make for this level of model. That is definitely going to require a paint job, though.
Yeah. Well, we can totally do that.
Where was, just for comparison's sake, in higher grade models, they'll end up giving you
Like clear plastic?
yeah, clear plastic ones. Sure. These are not from a model, these are from a Gundam figuration kit, which is sort of just a pre-painted action figure style, but very highly articulated, very highly detailed in the paint job. 23 and 24. I think I'm about to make the base for this thing. Were you expecting this to take a different amount of time, Beach?
No, the focus.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a long focus. I figure this is going to take longer than you guys have time for tonight.
Probably, yeah.
probably. But that
Well, not Ian's.
I'm only about halfway done.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, we got more questions from the chat.
Good.
Question from Q Taffy. Ian, have you ever had Thai food? And I don't know why they asked this question.
Yes, I have had Thai food, and I actually rather enjoy it.
Okay. Question from Gekyoryu. Anyone there into Berserk? Particularly curious if Ian is and what his opinions on the idea of Mikazuki and the Barbados mirroring guts, as well as the idea of modding a Lupus Rex model to look like Gundam version of guts in Berserker armor.
So I'm not a... Berserk's one of those things that I feel like I should watch just to have a knowledge. It is one of those touchstones of... if you think of anime as a genre. But I haven't actually consumed it. I know that the current series, there's a lot of controversy over whether or not it's good, because there's certainly some bad animation choices being made. But in terms of what I know about Berserk, yeah, I think actually like the mirror of Guts and Mikazuki is probably a good one. And yeah, modding a Lupus Rex to look like Guts in his arm would be a fantastic idea. Not something I'm going to be able to do, but that would be interesting to see. This is what it feels like when other people talk about magic. D. Step 9. Remove the D.
Step 10. Put it back.
So now a question for all of us. Anyone interested in Warhammer 40k?
I used to play 40k.
Yeah, I think you're the only one here.
Yeah.
Then you took an arrow.
Then I moved away from all my friends who played 40k and fell in with a group of people who played Magic.
Oh.
So now I don't play 40k anymore, though I still have an army. Well, kind of. I've got Imperial Guard at home, which I occasionally take out and look at.
Painted?
Some of them, yeah. I've posted pictures on my Twitter way back when. Well, probably a couple months ago now. You know what? I'm just gonna leave those out for now.
I think I'm doing this correctly.
And then the head goes on. But,
Hey! That's a handsome little guy.
He could be a little bit more in focus, couldn't he? There we go. Nice.
Needs legs.
We'll bypass the default Gundam joke about the legs being necessary.
have people figured out you don't need legs in space?
That's literally the ending of the first series.
Oh, really?
Is Char goes out in the unfinished Zeong, which is legless, but turns out doesn't really need them.
Oh.
And in Thunderbolt, they actually removed some body parts.
That's, yes, but not from the robot. All right, Amu, 25. Yeah, Gundam is one of those things that gets quoted like Star Wars amongst otaku.
One does not wish to acknowledge the failures of one's youth.
Let's jump onto White Base.
I'm sorry, to what?
Yeah.
Jump onto White Base.
We're jumping onto White Base.
Oh. Right, yeah, quotes. I get it. Memes.
But from the 1980s.
1979.
All right.
It's just like Star Wars.
$43.40. Good band.
I flashed a custom firmware onto my hub.
Oh,
Yeah,
what kind of hub?
the WeTech hub, that little Android box I bought to watch
Oh,
stuff at
yes,
home.
yes.
Yeah. I did that because apparently with all the new improvements they made, they borked video playback. Which I'm like, oh, you made a lot of great improvements, except you screwed up the one thing, the reason why we bought the box in the first place. Good job. So some enterprising enthusiasts have made an Android TV based, instead of just straight Android, they made an Android TV based distro that was supposed to fix all those problems. So I went out and bought an SD card so I could load it onto the box, and I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue Blazes still refuses to play back smoothly. 720p, 10-bit, and I'm like, why? You're supposed to be fine doing this, and Cody's having problems, and I'm furious.
That sounds really terrible.
It's juddery as hell, and I can't. We try to get through episodes of it. I'm just like, it's just so irritating to watch when everything's just janky.
That would be unwatchable.
Yeah.
And I would recommend not watching it that way.
Well, I'm trying to not now. I'm just trying to wait on, trying to see if we can get a fix, because I might just have to load the Linux distro straight on it and just get rid of Android altogether, but I don't even think that's going to make a difference. I think there's just something about the version of Blue Blazes we download that's like, whatever encode they used,
Like if it's 10-bit, that might be the issue.
that might be it. So I'm actually encoding a test episode at 8-bit just to see if it actually makes a difference. But the last time I used Handbrake to do that, I screwed up the settings somehow, and it did nothing. Even at 8-bit, it did nothing but just constantly judder the whole time. So, so I'm hoping when I get home tonight and one episode is done, we're going to watch playback and see if it actually fixes the problem. Then I'll have to re-encode all of them.
Which you can batch. That's not so bad.
Exactly. Leave it on overnight. Good little box otherwise, but yeah, it's supposed to play. And the thing is, it plays back 10-bit. Like you can see everything. It plays back HEVC, but apparently it ain't perfect because of all the upgrades they've been doing to it.
Probably missing a driver for whatever chip it's using to do the playback.
Well, they said that the newer version of Kodi is abandoning the media codec acceleration, hardware acceleration for this particular chip.
Oh, well.
And I'm like, so I bought this thing, and then all of a sudden Kodi says we're removing that altogether from.
You didn't want that, did you?
No, and I'm like, no, of course I didn't, And so the guys at WeTech are like, what are we supposed to do about this? And so people are coding it back in or making it available in future versions or something. I'm not
Plug-in
sure.
or something?
I don't know why the hell it's missing in the first place, but they're working on fixing it. So
Bizarre.
yeah, everything was fine before they went from version 2 to version 3.
No.
Should have taught me.
Actually, on that topic,
It's underneath. Wait, no, that's a piece of tape.
Hold on.
if
Yeah,
you're-
I see it.
if you're going to be running just straight Linux on this thing,
Yeah.
you may be interested in coming by for a future episode of Tinker Tailor Solder Fry.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm going to actually
Did you
go
cut
through.
my audio?
I'm going to go through the setup of a HomeKit device,
Oh, yeah.
or specifically Homebridge on a Raspberry Pi,
Cool.
so that you can go ahead and use low-powered hardware, or really any hardware. It doesn't have to be a Raspberry Pi. Any computer that can run Node can run Homebridge. And once you've got Homebridge, then you can actually start doing really nifty automation with your iPhone or other iDevices. Linux users and, well, not Linux users, Android users, there are other products available out there like iHome.io, I think, which is also cross-platform. I mean, it's something you can run alongside HomeKit to make for some nice things. But for those of us with iDevices, HomeKit is what we need. But I've recently fallen down a bit of a home automation rabbit hole, at least with the lights, thanks to the new IKEA affordable smart lights. And it's kind of cool to be able to just say to your phone, hey Siri, turn on the, no, I can't do that. Hey Dingus, turn on the lights in the living room to 30%, and it will dim them up to a very nice level for watching movies or just relaxing. The reason I had to stop myself there is because I set it up in such a way in just under a day that I can now control my home lights from here. But if I'd let that go through, then
We've got a couple
wasting
questions
energy.
from the chat here. So we've got our pick. Do you want to talk about anime or do you want to talk about school again?
All is fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the anime
First one,
question?
then the other.
Yeah. Give us school.
It's up to you,
Pick
Corey.
pick school?
It's up to you, yeah.
No, the first question is just anime recommendations, suggestions for someone who's never watched anime and doesn't know what the hell any of you are talking about.
Yeah.
You're going to want to watch a series called Revolutionary Girl Utena.
I thought you were going to say Gundam. I thought
Yeah.
you were going to say Mobile
Jump
Suit
right
Gundam.
in with End of Evangelion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't bother watching the beginning bits. They're boring as hell.
This
Yeah.
this is going to be my answer, and it's pretty much my
Sailor
standard
Moon?
my standard answer for these.
Yeah.
Tell the chat what you like, what kind of shows you like that aren't anime, and they will give you some pretty good recommendations that should match that kind of style. Because anime isn't a genre; it's
They're
A
recommending
medium.
FLCL, Bible Black, and Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, that's good. Good for you, chat.
Yeah.
So, Ian, what recommendations do you have for
What?
someone's first anime?
what do you like to watch? Because I
Okay,
can't.
well, I'm waiting for a response for that. We can move on to the other question.
Cool.
Dr. Zler, I'm trying to get into grad school. Any advice for that?
Oh, go ahead, Cameron.
Well, I'm trying to do the same thing, so I have no advice.
I'm going
I-
to recommend Cowboy Bebop and Bible Black.
Yeah, I applied 4 times for grad school and didn't get in. I do what I didn't do.
Don't do what Johnny Beach didn't.
Yeah.
I'm scared shitless. I recommend trying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like, do you have to have like the best grades?
No, you don't. Sure helps.
Yeah. Find sympathetic advisors who are willing to like stump for you to let you to say like, no, this guy would make a good graduate student. This
Yeah, but
person would make a
even
good graduate
that
student.
isn't necessarily a guarantee.
You don't
right?
even necessarily get to pick your advisors in some scenarios, right? Like it's
Well,
kind of
you-
like depending on your field and how crowded it is.
Yeah, although like traditionally you approach a supervisor or and they will be like, and then they will say, you know, yes or no, and if they have space in their research group.
Traditionally approach the researcher from the side so as not to startle them.
So we've got a response back from our anime questioner, and they say medium slow is what they like to watch. And a response from Dandy Geek in the chat says The Great Passage, which is probably the perfect answer for that.
Yep. Yeah, those go together really well. The Great Passage, you're probably asking yourself, is an anime about a guy who works for a publishing company and then through various things ends up working in the dictionary publishing arm.
And that's
Editing.
yeah.
Yes.
They're making a new dictionary, and so he gets to join this as it's kind of already started.
Yeah.
And-
It's already started several years ago.
Yeah, and it's like 11 or 12 episodes, and it's more compelling than you think it could possibly be. Like, it doesn't sound like, oh, that sounds like a really boring thing. It's like, actually, it's not shonen anime. It's not like,
You can get very emotionally invested.
yeah, it's really nice. It's a really good show.
All right, so many feet and
Oh,
so
no.
many legs.
Oh, wow.
We're here.
Whoa.
Yeah, but what there doesn't necessarily... Some of these are more complicated than others,
Yeah.
significantly. We may have to continue this on a different stream, I think.
I don't know what time it is.
It is 8:35, and Vian Ego in the chat has also recommended that Rakugo show, maybe, which I assume means Showa Genroku Rakugo
Shinju. Yeah.
Shinju, which is also or descending stories. Also a good medium slow.
Also great if you are interested to see what, like, Japan has been like for the last 60 or 70, or the turn of the century, turn of the 20th century. It's interesting to see that, I think.
Yeah, the Rakugo show is one of those shows that wouldn't have to be an animation, but it's certainly it's actually one of those cases where it was probably cheaper to make as an anime than it would have been to recreate the sets of Showa-era Japan. Only 3 pieces. Right, good. Get in there. All right. I have completed the stamen hands. Grippy.
Second. Second, s'il vous plaît.
You got some little dolphin hands there.
Yep. Little dolphin hands for more weapons grabbing. Seriously?
What?
There's a back.
Oh, good. It's like, do you just not give instructions for the rest of it? No, you do. Good.
Draw the tick.
I learned a very important lesson while waiting in line for Katsa.
Oh, at the airport?
Yeah, when the official who's behind the counter says hello, bonjour, welcome to whatever,
Don't say bonjour.
don't
Yep.
say bonjour back, because they will immediately go into very fast French, and you'll have to say, I'm sorry, that was dumb. I actually only speak English.
I had one guy, I had the problem with saying hello, bonjour back to him.
And that confused him.
No, he asked me in French if I'd like to continue in, I assume if I'd like to continue in French.
Right.
Because I knew just enough French to know that he was asking me a question. The word French was in there, but it wasn't parlez-vous français.
And you didn't want to respond with anglais s'il vous plaît?
I just said no. And their answer was, well, all right then.
And you know that you're not the first person they've encountered that day who's done that to them.
I'm pretty sure I told him to have a nice flight too. So
Yeah. It was probably in French, but for all you know, it could have been in Japanese.
Yeah.
You could have asked him to go to the library.
Happy flight kudasai. By the way, that's a film anyone who is interested in Japanese cinema should definitely have a look at.
Yeah, that was good.
Happy flight.
So many things.
So many small things.
They're all yours to build with. So many tiny plastic responsibilities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a question earlier about whether or not there would be the chances of us building a fume hood for Tinker Tailor. On Tinker Tailor, for Tinker Tailor. And
Just vent it upstairs.
I had honestly thought about building a fume hood, or at least a fume extractor for the set. Just some ducting to go from the table here through to the window.
Are they loud?
Yes.
Because you have to get very positive pressure, right?
They're a fan,
Yeah,
and there has to be a fan that moves a lot of air.
yeah.
And things rattle. So unless we put the fan like 2 blocks down.
Almost bought an Apple Watch today.
Resisted the clarion call.
I went to Best Buy to buy an SD card, and then I put on their model.
Just accidentally stumbled into an Apple Watch.
Well, I walked over because I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to buy one, and I walked over to where they had them. They finally had the models out, and I put the 38 one on my wrist, but they put an extra thing underneath it so you can't steal it. And I'm like, it feels thicker, and now I don't know if I like the feel of it, because now I don't know what it feels like when it's not 38.
Right.
And then I started to feel weird about it. I'm like, I'm going to spend this much money on something to get notifications and track my heartbeat. Maybe this is me being foolish.
So you didn't even come close to buying an Apple Watch.
I talked myself out of it pretty fast, but it's the closest I've been because I'm like, I have all the requisite things, which is money, and a kind of an urge. Though the person who worked there told me, because I asked, do you have any open box ones? They said no. No, we never have any open box ones. I said, really? He's like, yeah, every time we get an open box one in, because you can't get anything on discount from Apple because there's no way. The margins too tight,
It goes right back to Apple.
it goes right to the employees. The employees grab every open box thing they can get from Apple first.
Oh.
Everyone is very happy to get that immediately. So it's like we never have any in stock.
Wonder if they just end up reselling them too.
Could be.
I mean, you already work at a Best Buy,
Yeah.
right? There have to be some kind of dividends.
Yeah. I mean, you can get HDMI cables for actual cost.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Monster HDMI cables.
yeah.
Ooh. Well then.
No oxygen for you.
I actually don't think I've seen any monster stuff there recently.
Oh yeah, it's all rocket fish now, isn't it?
So they really, or Rapu, or Insignia, or... I went and looked at their Manfrotto setup. Yeah. They listed like a really nice premium carbon fiber tripod, and I was like, I want to lift this. I want to know what that feels like. And, but it was nowhere to be found. They didn't have the demo models out for some reason.
I found out that the one of our local music shops that's been in business for over 34 years, Larson Music, is not closing on June 30th, but July 30th.
Oh, we still have a little time
So we
left.
still have time. Yes, they're family-run music business that is going out of business because they want to retire. The guy's 74 years old, so they're selling off their entire stock, starting at 50% off.
Oh, wow.
So when I was there less than a month ago, they were chock full still of some stringed instruments.
Really?
Yeah, cellos, double basses, violins. Because that's what they specialized in.
Right. I always wanted to learn to play the violin. Not enough that I want to spend $20,000 on a violin, but
But you could probably, go get one for $150.
those ones are apparently like impossible to play.
Yeah.
They just suck.
I learned to play the violin on like a student loaner model that we had at school, and it was enough to understand that lacking depth perception is not an easy thing. When you don't have that and trying to play the
Yeah.
violin, it's very difficult.
It does actually matter to you.
Well, it's trying to see how far your hand is down the thing, and they teach you finger patterns and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is so they put dots on your instrument to teach you where to put your hands, or you put your fingers rather. And then at some point they're like, well, now we can take the dots off. I'm like, please don't do that. I need to know where to put my fingers. And they're like, oh, well, you'll be fine. You'll be used to it. And I kind of was, but I was never as good as when I had the dots and I could actually see what I was doing. So, yeah. I know that eventually that you have to, when you get to be a virtuoso, you're just going to pull that off altogether because your hand will be so used to where it's supposed to be playing.
If you're a
but-
virtuoso, you're pretty much allowed to do what you want.
Yeah. That's also true. I think I'm going to go buy some guitar strings, though.
Maybe a new guitar.
No. I don't think I'll be buying a new guitar.
Maybe 2 new guitars.
They don't have anything better than what I currently play. I don't want to be a shit about it.
Like, do you have a burner?
I don't.
Just pick up a Fender Squire so you have something to smash on stage.
I was really disappointed. I went there to go see. I actually went there to buy electric parts. They were all sold out. Like they were all gone.
Well, the other thing too that I was reading in the article is what they pride themselves on doing, and I don't know if they still do it at this or if the instruments they're carrying right now are of this irk, but they would buy stock instruments, and then because they'd hired a master string repair person, he would tear them down and rebuild them better.
Oh, that's
neat.
nice. They had a saxophone stand, and I was kind of tempted.
Those are the same. Good. All right. 67 and 70.
1 foot. Oh, neat.
Oh, does it have the articulation mid-foot? Oh, beautiful.
That's real cool.
I don't think even my large one has that.
Yeah, all right, this is pretty sweet. All right, other side.
Pretty sweet. Sigh.
So much more to do.
It's fine, guys. Just another 20 of these, and we'll be able to ship them out.
How did people just work in manufacturing for like 12 hours a day?
Oh, well, if you're in the Gunpla manufacturing facility, you do it while wearing a what's essentially cosplay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the uniforms are replicas with affordances for factory work of the Federation uniforms.
Wow.
In retrospect, that's a tour I should have taken while I was there.
Gunpla factory tour?
Yep. They take the fact that they make Gundam very seriously.
I mean, that's a lot of people's paychecks, both going in and going out. I mean,
I have to say, the sweetest Gundam picture I've ever seen was of the factory workers posing with the head of the 1-to-1 scale Gundam they had in Tokyo, just after they'd removed it.
Question for you, Ian.
Yes.
Diabetic Madness asks, did you ever watch Cyborg 009?
No, that's also on the list of things.
I feel like that'll be harder to find these days.
Yeah, but I
The
think
original or the new series?
that's exactly the other issue. I think I should watch the original.
Are you struck with the same kind of curiosity I am to watch the stuff that Anno watched? Like based on Ian and Corey having shown me Blue Blazes now I'm kind of like, I want to watch some original Ultraman. I want to watch some of the Cyborg 009. I want to watch all the things that he watched back in the day that got him excited about doing this kind of stuff.
Oh yes, I've had Ultra 7 sitting on my on my media machine for a while now. Partially because of how goofy the dub is
Yeah.
with the things we saw on the Bad 3.
Yeah.
But also partially because I know that Ultraman is, again, one of those cultural touchstones, and I feel like I don't understand it as well as I should. Yeah, it's like trying to have a conversation about 80s based science fiction movies and not knowing about the Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
Is Last Starfighter a cultural touchstone?
I don't know that it is.
It's just weird, though, that there's so many people you talk to who, when you mention it, they're like, I remember that movie. Even if they don't quite remember it, they still kind of remember it.
Considering how many things have been remade, I'm
Yeah.
kind of shocked that Last Starfighter hasn't.
That's true.
Because it was sweet.
I mean,
I don't
they-
remember if it was any good, but
I'm also just curious as to how influential it is on other directors and writers.
Well, we're getting a new Jumanji.
And after seeing the trailer last night, I'm actually kind of on board with it.
Yeah, me too. But I was also surprised at the fact that it's like they haul out this Intellivision-looking thing, boot it up, and it's this very Super Nintendo-looking screen, and I'm like, okay, well, this is clear bullshit already, but that's fine. This is not intended for...
Only 80s kids will understand.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, okay, but whatever. But I'm like, but it's a video game in this one, and you get sucked into the video game as opposed to a board game. I'm like, I guess if you remade The Last Starfighter today, would you redo it as like a Wing Commander type game?
I guess so.
Or would you make it a mobile based on
No,
mobile
it would be Armada. It would be like the book that's after Ready Player One from Ernest Cline.
Ooh, I
where
haven't read
it's just
that.
like, oh yeah, play an MMO, get really good at playing an MMO. Now let's ship you off to space to be an MMO fighter pilot type dude.
I was going to say that, yeah, you'd want to do something akin to, not Logan's Run. Racist kid power fantasy.
Karate Kid.
No. Ender's Game.
Sweep the leg ender. With space, you need to be ready if someone sweeps the leg from any direction.
Though, I mean, if Ready Player One does well as a movie, then they could they could make Armada, and then that would be like having
Wasn't Armada like a complete mess? I just read a review of it where the reviewer was like, okay, I liked Ready Player One, but like Armada, it's just like he gets there and they've got his favorite brand of, or favorite strain of weed
It's
in
very
a
similar
vaporizer
to
on.
Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he gets shipped off to the space station and hacks the cool computers and
Right.
is all elite and his dad's there.
And his dad finally loves him.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. And there's a hot chick.
Oh, really? Who totally respects his video game playing skills?
But not initially.
Ian doesn't know what he's talking about, but yes. But also no. Because
God.
he's like the best pilot.
Oh, God.
He's the super best.
Does he say that piloting is wizard?
No, but what were we watching the other
No,
day?
they do make references, though.
Oh, good.
Because, you know,
Of
it's about
course they
pop
do.
culture and growing up in pop culture.
That's a good
So,
point. Yeah.
What were we watching the other day that was essentially just the Max and Miria video game scene? Where I suggested that there's going to be a knife fight later.
Yeah, you literally pointed that out. I can't remember what it was now.
Two people were going to play an arcade. We were sitting down to play an arcade game. It was in Utena.
Oh, right.
It was, yeah. It was in the Utena game.
That's right. Because we went to the game center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, Macross being such a big influencer as it is, I can't believe that that wasn't a reference specifically to that scene.
I'm just looking forward to watching more Steven Universe and seeing what references from that are references to the Utena Saturn game. Because I kind of want there to be some.
Oh, that's how that works.
Okay, tell us how that works.
So I was wondering why the pins on the back of this piece went backwards. Like, what is this supposed to attach to? But it attaches to this. It pulls back so that everything looks clean and flush from the back. And still has a bit of bendiness to it. So, I think I've just about got this piece done. This all goes together. Again, I have a much larger version of this at home, sitting in a box, and the super deformed version is really throwing me off in terms of scale.
It's really wrong.
Yeah, the depth should be about 3 times greater than it is. But at least these flap up. Yeah, at least these flip up. That's some solid construction there. Anaheim Electronics. Makers of quality paneling. Yeah, this is a model that would definitely benefit from a probably pound of putty. Just in terms of the sheer number of gaps to fill.
Okay.
Okay, how are you doing, Cam?
Closing in on having one leg complete.
Okay. Do you want to aim for one complete leg?
Yeah.
I think I can finish this in the time we have allotted.
Yeah, I think I can power through.
Great.
Sure.
And then that gives us... Well, it keeps the stuff that's on sprue still on sprue.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, we've got another question for you. And I don't understand any of the words I'm about to say, so...
Okay.
Have you seen any of the Mechanicore kits, like the Deep Striker?
Ooh, I'm familiar with the Deep Striker, but I don't I don't know if they were Mechanicore kits. I might need a bit more information on what that means. But if they made Deep Striker kits, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, everyone else in the chat is just coming to terms with how old millennials are.
Oh. Well,
I mean,
get used to it. We're the ones who are going to be in hospitals when you take over.
This is how grief works.
51 and 52. Yeah, there are some batshit Gundam designs in, not so much in the series. The most batshit stuff comes from the novels and some of the manga.
Where they have like 3 arms.
Well, no, where they say like, fuck, we don't need legs. What we need is just some
Tank treads.
some huge propellant tanks that are about as long as the actual mech is in general. Because we need these to be intercept fighters.
Oh.
So we'll give you a gun with a very large barrel that's 3 or 4 times the length of your actual mech, because that indicates that it's somehow more powerful, of course.
Then you turn on the booster jets.
Yep. You fly away. Shoot the thing and then fly back.
I mean, if you can.
Yeah. None of this one-way trip stuff.
Well, you know, constant
Constant
acceleration equals constant thrust equals constant speed, right? That's how that works.
Which is weird because that's one of the things that Universal Century Gundam purports not to do in their ships.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much so in the mechanical fighters, but
No, the fighters are like always accelerating because they're always trying to change direction.
that's true. Yes. Oftentimes at 90 degrees, if the trails are anything to believe. Ah, yes, Mecha Kuga got me. Gundam Sentinel is what I'm referring to.
Okay, I was just about to do the Gunbuster theme, but I see that the chat's beating me to it. So can't talk about space physics.
Sad space physics. Okay, 34 and 35, 32. What?
Right, now the chat wants to talk about digestive anime, so let's talk about Wakakozaki.
Yeah!
Wait, seriously? That's the term that the community's decided on?
What? No. We were talking about digestives earlier.
Yeah, but now digestive anime.
Okay, no,
Digestive's an anime.
you know what? Okay, if I get to coin that, yes, we get to call that now.
Although Bartender, I think, also has a digestive in it.
So we've got Bartender.
There aren't a lot of other,
Any food-related anime, I think we should now be referred to as digestive anime.
yeah, as opposed to digestive
Yep.
anime.
No, the woe was that I suddenly saw the instructions on what I'm supposed to do by breaking its spine. I'll show the chat when we got the completion up.
Okay.
I don't think Fruits Basket counts as a digestive anime.
No, you're right.
Oop, goodbye. Now, after the term healing anime got coined, I'm definitely down to coin my own term.
The hell's healing anime?
That's what I said. The fuck is it healing?
Healing anime is anime that's supposed to be very relaxed and restful, slow-paced, and ultimately, while problems are solved, they're not generally of like huge consequence. It's usually human interest stories. There's a series called Human Crossing. I bought it on DVD, and it was just kind of a story of like a salaryman goes home and he feels kind of detached from his family, and then he goes and he sits somewhere and he thinks about things for a bit, and he thinks about some other things, and then he goes and he does something better than he used to, and then he starts to repair his relationship with his family.
Oh, New Yorker shit.
Yeah, it really is. It's that kind of thing. And Bartender is a similar kind of thing. It's
How is it different from Slice of Life?
Slice of Life just sometimes tells stories about things that are happening in the life of a person that don't necessarily have a hard dramatic or a hard comedic edge. Slice of Life could kind of like encompass a whole like range of things. And healing anime can tend to be a slice of life thing, like Bartender is a slice of life type thing. People come in and they sit down and it's like a story about something that they're going through. But because these people like are ultimately healed by their experience of doing something, and they become better people because of it, or they learn a lesson because of it, that's what makes it healing. Slice of life is just a person does a thing.
Lol.
They sure did that thing.
And if you watch only one episode, then you can have homeopathic healing anime.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
I'm very proud of myself. Okay, I think that's... I mean, I should take out the shield and the bazooka. I'm also missing quite a few pieces, it looks like.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. But they weren't called for. But yeah, just check out all of this extra,
All the extra shit.
yeah,
Huh.
that apparently I don't need.
Okay.
I'm not used to that. Used to the unforgiving Lego system.
Where you've
Oh,
ruined your Gundam.
you have lost one of your pieces, small child? Well, unfortunately, there's no way for you to get a single piece.
Yes, Harry Potter will be upset forever now. He will never save Hogwarts.
Without his font.
Which you so carelessly lost.
But don't worry, your dad will find it in the middle of the night.
Okay, so that goes on back. That.
All right, Beej. Would Dragon Maid count as healing?
No, absolutely not. Holy shit. I can't even believe you asked me that question.
How dare you!
I'm leaving. No, it's a comedy. It is totally a comedy. You might feel really good at the end of it, but it's not about your healing.
Or anyone's, really.
No, not really. I love Dragon Maid. That's a great show. I hope they make more of it.
Okay, so I think we're almost done with this. This one goes here. The plastic really feels like I'm assembling something that KitchenAid made.
Are you using that to mean quality?
Take that as you will. This one goes on this side. Oop, that one goes on that side. And all right. Let's take that weapon out of his hand.
Jam it in there.
So here we go. We've got the stamen. And
One leg.
Oh, a one-leg angel.
Ah.
Let's insert him into his cockpit. Step 1, take your guy. Step 2, snap him in half.
What?
Then push these back, it looks like. And then, yep, you want to keep on bending things until you get, wow, this is very complicated. You gotta shove, whoop. Gotta not lose any of the pieces inside him. Instructions make it seem so much easier. All right, does that work? Oh, do I have to jam those even farther up? Yep. There we go. Now his back is fully broken. And make him Superman a bit.
Ta-da.
Wow, that's actually good balance.
Steady. Steady.
Crack that up. Spread his legs a bit, as it were. Engage docking.
Just how it is in the anime.
Yep. Just like this. And then it's supposed to touch that, I think. Ah, there's contact points in here. I've reached one of them. Oh, there we go. Starting to wiggle into place. And then we just close it up. And there you have it.
Can you not open the missile flaps while he's in there?
No, they get stuck on his horns.
Oh no.
So somehow I think the super deforming may have impeded the function a bit.
I like all the Gundam poop behind him.
Chat wants them to kiss.
Not
I
really
don't-
into the... That's illegal.
Very illegal.
This one is like, she's not my type.
I don't actually have a mouth. It's a lot easier not to kiss when you don't have a mouth, or you have to open your mouth area. Okay,
Used
I'm
to,
gonna,
though.
yeah,
Hashtag scale difference.
giantess.
Oh, you're so strong.
Well, I know how we're mounting them when we're finished with this. Okay, I'm going to call that the show here. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching so far. This has been a lot of fun.
No. Jack, don't let me fall.
Perhaps we'll get a chance to finish this in the future and maybe let you actually get some painting done next time.
Maybe.
Yeah. But for the moment, yeah, it's been a great time. Check us out at loadingreadyrun.com for all the great shows that are there and for the schedule of what's coming up. But first, let's welcome the people who were so generous to give their time and money to us here at twitch.tv. Corey, who are our special subscribers today?
I forgot.
She's been memorizing the list since we started. Just shoved about a third of that knowledge out of her brain.
Huh. Wasn't doing anything. Wait, I said that out loud.
Dang.
Yeah.
Thank you for subscribing, Lillian Quinn. Jodorowsky for 4 months. Thank you. Failhammer for 46 months.
Yay!
Thank you for subscribing, The Grey Rabbit for 12 months.
Thanks, the Grey Rabbit.
Hostetro for 6 months. AJ Durai for 5 months. Erased Citizen for 10 months.
Thank you.
Heaps Irrelevant for 10 months. Two Steps is a new subscriber. Joran Steele for 8 months. Mr. Flip for 47 months.
Yay!
Roy Eltham for 6 months.
Thank you, Roy.
Sakurazaki 1023 for 41 months.
Thank you, Sakurazaki.
Takanashi Maki is a new subscriber.
Welcome.
Satchel 1 for 43 months.
Welcome, Satchel 1.
Zimmer CJ for 10 months.
Hey.
Mr. Pudding Maker for 22 months.
Great name.
Good name.
Fishup for 14 months.
Also good.
Zedwrench for 9 months.
I don't think I have one of those.
Pixelated Painter for 10 months.
Thank you.
Psycho Coop or Psycho Co-op is a new subscriber.
Hey, welcome.
Nurse Lucario is a new subscriber.
Welcome to you.
Dead
too.
Rekka, 19 months.
Hey,
Freedent for 5 months.
Takes the stick out
keep
of gum.
chewing.
Blade Tiger for 34 months.
Wow.
I can read numbers. Snake Ace for 5 months.
Love it.
Rar for 8 months.
Also love it.
Bistod for 10 months.
Still love it.
Darth Omega is a new subscriber.
Hey, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Gikyoryu for 42 months.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Europa Equation for 8 months.
Thank you.
Almost a sub baby. Doom Limit for 26 months.
Welcome to Limit.
Zanzibar for 42 months.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Anja Zeta for 10 months.
You're my favorite, Anja.
Soviet U for 13 months.
Welcome.
Itomeshi is a new subscriber.
Thank you, Itamishi. Welcome.
Burger Tariff for 7 months.
Let's keep those burger tariffs down.
European Red Fox is a new subscriber.
Thank you, European Red Fox.
Volton Phase for 8 months.
Welcome, Volton Vase.
The Laugh Man is a new subscriber.
Hey, the Laugh Man.
Mr. Gloomby for 6 months.
Thanks, Mr. Gloomby.
302 Dave is a new subscriber.
Welcome, Dave.
Welcome, Dave.
Bodacious Space Pirate is a new subscriber.
Woo!
That's
I get
everyone.
that reference. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching
Yeah.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry this week. Do we have previews of what's coming up this week?
I believe this button does that.
Great. Coming up
Ooh.
on Tuesday is New Day Tuesday, where they will be playing Destiny 2,
Yeah, I believe that's Graham.
Closed Beta. Is that the actual subtitle
Yes.
for the game? Destiny 2, the Closed Beta. Then on later on that day, they'll be doing Yonder the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. Heather will be doing that, which is going to be interesting. And then James will be doing one more, as per usual, playing PUBG. Then, of course, on Wednesday it's Mine O'Clock. We start off with James and Rebellious Uno mining and clocking. And then it's Let's Nope with Ben and Alex. Yeah,
Playing Perception.
Ooh.
nice. And crossing streams, they'll be playing Wild Guns Reloaded. I'm not sure who exactly is playing that, but it's going to be fun. Well, it looks really good. And then it's 18 Games and Counting, where they'll be playing the 18th most popular game on Thursday in the morning. Morning hour time. Then we're MTG in the afternoon, where they'll be playing the 18th most popular game, Magic.
Yep. On Talking Simulator, we'll be playing Quadrilateral Cowboy. We'll actually be getting around to it this week.
Oh, wow. I wanted to play that.
It's apparently quite good.
Good. Okay, good. And then on Friday, we've got the crap shoot, where these people will be writing and also probably shooting and then editing a crap shot.
I think that is the plan for this one.
Hooray, finally. Then it's AFK, where we still need to decide what game we're playing. But we'll be doing it away from the keyboard. Then Adam's Game House on the morning of Saturday, where he will be playing Dead Cells. Once again, Adam really likes that game.
Yep.
And in the afternoon, it's time for Loading Ready Live, where we'll be spending the whole day making a show and then making the show go into your eyes. And on Sunday, we'll be playing probably more Rhythm Heaven Fever because we didn't do it last week because the stream was away. But that'll be fun. And then we roll back into Checkpoint, and it's going to be Matters of Import, where Beach and I will have to choose a new series of games to play. And that's the entire week. Wow. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of content.
Yeah, we do a lot.
Yeah, and that's just the live content.
So we got a resub Under the Wire from Feldham C for 47 months.
Thanks, Felton C.
Thank you.
And thank you for the 500 bits, Asian Insect.
Thank you
Aw,
so much,
thank
Asian
you.
Insect. So that's going to do it for today. We will see you.
The
Well-
chat would like us to read the results of the injury poll.
Okay, bring up the injury poll, then we're out of here.
Okay, so I'm seeing the results. I'll read them from bottom up. They are not actually models, but just shrunk Gundams, and once assembled, are too heavy to ever actually move.
Seems legit.
That's 3%. Beej attempts to eat the whole thing, resulting in a Heimlich maneuver being hastily applied. That got 5% of the vote.
Oh, could have happened.
Ian models, just all of him. Oh, mama.
Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but
I don't either. Ian accidentally paints his model the wrong color, causing a new timeline and making the chat go into full fanfic mode.
haha, no painting.
15% of the vote. Ian stores the completed models in a cupboard locked with lead key he found, only to discover later they've come to life, leading to a heartwarming adventure about growing up.
That,
Is Indian in the cupboard, I think.
yeah. Wow.
Couldn't pick a username, tries to make a straw poll without knowing a goddamn thing about Gundam.
Nice.
23%. Followed by someone accidentally brings a Macross model, resulting in an awkward silence, followed by them leaving the moon base to never return.
Ian,
That's the winner?
Yes.
Yeah, that does seem likely.
you won.
Done. We're out of here.
Yeah,
Good
wow.
night, everyone. We'll see you
Don't.
next time.
Don't.
We're off.